saying the stanza of salutation to Buddha Shakyamuni by Nagarjuna in his fundamental wisdom of the middle way, where he says, I appreciate the Buddha Shakyamuni, who is enthused by great compassion and taught the teaching of dependent origination to eliminate, to dispel all pervert.
지금 낭주 모주 가서 뜻듯이 아무 좋아 가서 다디조 산제베 최세한데 아니 등진기 khoyazawa chigiyoba munzi chene 대인도 전에 다음에 또be 다와 gyule gebe 거네 타바 주야게 수 된듯이 다 산제베 쉬셔야 되게 요래 다지 산제베 쉬 모두 다 고스 디렉션 봐 다 된듯이 이니 넬리 탈베 고방 뒤쪽으로야 안다 가설로 대하기 아니 묘모 투순데 나도 심지어 상월로 규를 요래 그다음 투순 묘모 사월쇼세 대하디 심지어 상월로 규를 요래 실은 나와 개월쇼세 대하디 나도 미를 탑되버 디기 미 남주가 잘라 때네 실은 나와 개야 마도 심지어 현다기 실은 나와 개도야 매발해 자 드디 이번 인도산에 공부를 주고 우머지 차야나야 아니 도나 셔디 문도 주베 셔지다 넬리 주베 셔니요레 센티소레 자다 드디 인도산에 아니 문도 다당 가서 문도 톤 대야레 문도 톤니 대대버 디 센델리아다 넬리 주야생디 카고레 자, 드네 인도산에 스르는 미르 톱해야지 주소식 중국이야. 자, 소 대대비 문도 림기 유네 아니 문도 남주 싫어를 때네 아니 내리 줘야지 디셰도 자, 드네 인도산에 문도 유네 내리 주고 인도산에 내리 주베 최대 나라라 문도 주베 최대에 다 가서 우리 먼저 전에 용기요. 자자가 드린 다 먼저라 치매 드림이 인도산에 산제베 추억이 아니 대승도와 가서 우리 나라도 삼월로 심전 타다로 다 가서 우리 그게 녀 디도 녀 여댕에기 샘댕기 아니 소자 수도 수이네 동해면 되버지다 대원 되버지 랑근 강기여체 다 데베 디기텔이야 문도 디기지다 넬리 디기 니샤 저소 자 다들이면 인도산에 문도 디기 나라야 세침에 문도 분소 찍다 천디 문도 분소 여여버디 대신 기버지 용야지 상당고도 그래서 치매장장 계시 천디 상록에 매배 계시 말봐 자다 간다 치매 편자래야 편야기 탑시 찍을 러버이나 천디를 편버디 샤래요야래 천디 찍고 된다래야 상당 대배이나 천디를 편마편 태숨래라 치매 편절이네 배야 매대버지 패지 쳐요야래 그래서 근데 이번 이르잖아요. 다 문주 디기 자야기 탑시샤 이르잖아요. 조 치매 문주 류된 상부 토토야지다. 대야 아니 새로워다 내매바다 지금 아니 또단 데마다 롱주 무슨 사와로 사와. 딘데도지 영야기 두소 신딜이야 다다네 러빈도잖아요. 신딜이 즉 새름도 나야 지금 롱주 무슨 사와 영야 지금 미사물로 그게다 가서 우리 그게 자오차야 딘데지 용토야 저도가 서 드리면 인도산에 또 문도 규네 넬레도야 문도 디기대야 치명원도 삼마인 뭐 센대야 대시 기버셔야지 제국이 알라 제하고 도당이 말해.
睡觉，
다 3줄.
先共唱。
tea offering.
잠시도 가래. 그래 되게 어디야?
So here today the offering is made in Chinese. And His Holiness was happy to hear that.
诸位谈到了
Yesterday, His Holiness gave introduction to Buddhism in association with the popular Chinese prayer. And so the summary of what is being said yesterday is that the Buddhist teaching should point to the self-grasping ignorance, self-grasping mind as the root cause of the suffering, root cause of the painful samsara. And it is the view, it is the wisdom which understands understands selflessness that can lead one to the state of liberation or freedom from suffering or nirvana. So this understanding should be interpreted as the actual Buddha Dharma. And the samsara and the nirvana, although the nirvana is something not manifest, not found in us, but the three poisonous afflictions, attachment, aversion, and ignorance, they are so well ingrained in all sentient beings, all of us here. And the wisdom which illuminates this darkness is something which can be achieved only in association with someone having obtained a favorable human birth. Other than that, in the case of the animals, it is very hard to obtain such wisdom which penetrates, which illuminates the concept of selflessness. And it is Nagarjuna who said in his precious garland that the goal that we achieve we seek to achieve constitutes two: one favorable birth, and the other the ultimate goal, or the ultimate goal. And in case of the favorable birth, we already have obtained this favorable birth as a human birth. But in terms of the ultimate goal, which is enlightenment, it's not something that we can achieve within a single lifetime. So this is something which we need to hope to achieve by taking several lifetimes. And it is only through cultivating this wisdom that we can achieve this ultimate goal, enlightenment. And but in order to achieve this ultimate aim or the ultimate enlightenment, we need to have obtained the favorable birth as a conducive factor to get there to the enlightenment. And all sentient beings, it is something so innate in them that they desire for happiness and not wanting suffering. This is something so innate. And the happiness that the sentient beings desire so innately, again, constitutes twofold. One, the favorable birth, and the other, the ultimate enlightenment or the ultimate goodness. And in terms of the favorable birth, it is not something that we simply aspire to achieve the favorable birth in the next time. So the present life, we already have obtained a favorable birth, and we should make sure that we have a long life and all the conducive factors which would which would maintain the presently obtained favorable birth something meaningful. Whereas if someone is there, simply concentrated on this life's benefits, interests alone, not at all interested about the future lifetimes, then in that case we're not too sure whether the person is going to achieve achieve even the benefit of this life, let alone achieving the benefit in the future lifetimes. Whereas if someone is focused on achieving the benefit of this future lifetimes, surely then the benefit of this life will be achieved, can be obtained as byproduct. So surely, while we focus on the importance of the future lifetimes, we should also focus on the importance and the meaning of this life, so that we can have a longer life, longevity, freed of sickness, and be prosperous and have more friends. So the favorable birth that we are seeking constitutes two: the future favorable birth and the present, and we should be concentrated on achieving the benefit in the context of both the favorable births.
말도 전부린 대강기 배나 다미 통주 주수시다 통주 주수를 하서觉得 디드 상황로 동해면 되다 대화도 시다래 나랑랑게 지 가다 가서 그래 너버도 뛰네 애네 지 동해서야다 대화도 해야지 다 상황로 배수 세대게 가래 다 될래야 가서 대전 니체나 동해면도보다 대화도 상황로 찍버려야지 이네 릭직디 애네 동해서야다 대화도 해야지 탑시디 신디게 지금 반조롱주 지금 다 최대 다 대단들에 등두기 시행 다 대장장 강상다 등에 직도가 다 대선 직디 애니 치고고 야제 지고기 타려야 상문미동아 난그 상무 야제 동야 타래 애양 즉 상다네 조치 여제 아주 디기 용약이 디기 주약이 튼베긴 치 여제 대 레강 디기 용약이 난그 삼로 야제 동야래야 타나 체체등에 대생이도가 다 난그 삼로 야제 동야 난그 삼로리야 다 개천부지대 지 디나로라 디 대생데 나로라 야 그게 대전으로 니체나 대바장장한 거 타네 최를 이지체 다 될래야 가서 우리 그게 군조 소수 때문에 지다 가서 우리 그게 때문에 지다 봐 직전에 된대기 때문에 될래야 이지체 대바체 뒤지고 타네 애니 지 디기용야게 탑시 동네 지다 용도로야 탑시체야 제단 직세 대전직디 셔도 남지기 싫어고 타네 애니 동네 용야게 두 가다지 말아주 류가 이숨기 관에 동해야게 주더께 그렇게 여버 디디 사주체 심주체 상당히 동해기 주텔라 파 가소래 용도 동야다 고급체하고 상도다니 류가 이숨기 제주직의 때에 동해용대야게 어다 동해용기 여버 인도산에 동해기 주지 자체니 동해기 주텔라 다파 지금 못 된다고 상도야 대신 직체 당 상제비 최대 지간 주요하래 싫어 나온 깨어서 세고야 그렇게 안 되버려 다 상제비 중국 나로를 뒤숭고도가 랑가시베 도대 나로래야 사이 택당 상배 택 시소위 다 치샤마다가 누구미도 또 그들이 먼저 하시고 시고 얘기요 말이 제제 어다 에디 사이 택과 섬이 택과 사 직세 섬이 택과 쓰다 되기 다 멋이 난기 또 친구부지고 이렇게 좀 마셔보시는 난그 삼로 개천부 지워 컨시라 엔다 지금 난그 삼로 뒤조 대바체체 대바든 저래 타네 다지 가서 우리 동네 진용도야 다 지금 디기용야게 다 답시체대야 섬이 택과 세체 상배 택과 세대야디 다낭 삼류 토리야 도스다 삼다네 심 남도 잠면도 디기 gembe 아니 룡아가 랜 잠면도 서비스 인도산에 심그 남도지 파가네 심 지지고 띵진 림베기 소화 땅용강 내야지 된대게 다 배주시대하기 주주직 달라 상배 태고 왔어요 다 되네 샘그 남도 라면도 깨대하기 아니 어떤 일 되기 남도 라면도 깨대야 디게디 자와디 다도 준비 셔버리스 근데 이제는 다도 준비 님보 담이 또 싫을 끼고 그랬으니 다 도신 해야 됐다 산집에 태고 자는 거요 다 드르르 삶이 태고도 상배 태고도 산집에 태고 디디 상물로기 심이야 대동야 지금 심부터리야 도난체대가 집버리디 삶이 태고디 또 대배가는 거 돼야지 다음에는 등산샤샤는 다 디디 안돼 태고도 되디 로동라베지 숨즈나로니 중대베지를 되야래 야가나노라 데리케스 지베 있나요 변은 이슈체 가지체 유체 아니 배지 다우져서 돼 배지래 단 지들 거 봐도 되게 지지도가 지들 거 봐도 되게지 다 디기 대바 디 숙청부 영향을 탄다래야 아니 뉴진디 탐자로 지들 거 봐도 꺼버리스 단 지들 거 봐도 말한서 배 간다 지 가서 그래 먼저 써야 되기 아니 시설을 또 터도로 돼 지들 거 봐도 다 꺼봐보러 잘해 버려 꺼봐봐 꺼봐 있잖아요 거be 넘주 탐제 거버 보이 다 가서 그래 거버보러 잘해지 거버보러 떠대야지 근데 이번 이르잖아요 dim진 din데 타는 상으로 스타인데 거버보리야 그래도 부구 파만을 배 쓰지도다 나랑 그배 되는 배 차상 켜란 게 상바로지 로데 죽으러다 디는 신체니 다 지든 거버부 군조기 탐제 거버지리야 이지체니 윤데 탈래야 지금 로게야 탈로 로주체야 될 때는 소소 강해를 채베이네 그저 캔 사바로 지금 드르지 차윤데 야 지금 삼년 나라 강해 차윤데 지금 탑센다 아제 우투 딱 가르쳐 오래 사바로 지금 지적대로 유대야 대면배치기 단 지들 거버 캔 사바로 채윤데 로데셔서 시도와 디 팽그도와 디 미망골로 팽겨 봐 다들 들으면 쓰시면 나는 사시네 미망골로 디 팽그도와 아니 지들 거버볼이야 이시전에 가르쳐 왔으려나 참바 공부를 자와 공부를 사바 공부를 쓰는 습도가 싫어야 오르셔 미망골로 팽겨 다 나드네야 상배 태과 슬라윈도 자네 다디 모디고 shum나 조래 모디고 shum나 로래야 아니 시 대발은 이미스때 그다음에 감 고마라 10월 때 근데 시라가 나버쟁기 다 람ቋ네 근데 그 타네 타는 더도 이니 소 대화를 이수니 또 소 땅용 된대야기 다 삼대 시바 연sek이 띵인서 건데야 다들 상배 타고 왔어야 돼 죄송아 대탐제로게 나오냐면 로티게 강을 믹스에 나디 아니 풍불로 왕줄게 저도 랑자와시 이해돼발라 이시셔셔 근데 인도 다음에 따와도 시작이야 말이야 산제베 택배 나로래야 나오냐면 로께세 로 나오냐면 로티기 미국 강을 믹스에 나디 랑자와 나디 여여래 미국도 요래 이네 나오냐며 로 숙천부시대 있는 자네 나한테 풍불로 왕줄게 풍불로 떼봐매봐 풍불로 파왕줄게 나코랑 라왕 예대버지 라왕 손 줍대버지 딘데지 다 다도 좀버지 딘데기 다지 시기야 다지 되버리 딘데기 다 산제베 슝네 딘데기 다 야마레스 다서야 돼 풍불로 떼네 줍대버지 풍불로 떼네 예대버지 마도 풍불로 떼봐매봐 라왕 줍대버지 다 야마레스 딘데 이마 인도산에 다음에 따와서 셔야 디셔야 디셔야 되게 나오냐며 로 숙천부용야 디숙자야 된다래야 다음에 따와 디셔야 돼 따와 산제베 책배도 다 통보이 뭐 띵.
在这世界有60亿的这个人口，但是呢，有一个共同点就是我们都是自然。
If you think about the population of this world, there are 6 billion of them. And one thing that all these 6 billion human beings share in common is that they all want happiness and not wanting suffering. And accordingly, these beings, they put effort to strive to obtain some happiness. And if we try to think of classifying the whole group of the human beings, we can classify them into 2. One, who simply focus on the external material progress or material development, emphasizing on obtaining more wealth, obtaining a better health, and then simply focused on the modern education. One, and the second group is those who don't just simply emphasize completely on the external material progress, but also equally pay importance to bring about improvement or development in the internal world of the minds.
真正获得离苦得乐。所以道上可以分这2大。
And then in the second category, again we can divide it into 2. One, although they emphasize on the importance of maturing internally or the mental world, but the basis by which they try to do that is by relying on mere faith, and say they look for some source of refuge, a protection. And then they simply cultivate a deep sense of faith in them, and then through that they expect they try to obtain happiness and reduce suffering. And the second category within that same heading is the ones who, instead of simply emphasizing on the faith, emphasizing on the discriminative wisdom. Discriminative wisdom or the discriminative intelligence to explore into the reality, exploring as to how all the suffering that we dislike, how they come about through physical, verbal, and mental actions, which in turn are given rise to by the root cause. So thereby, the second category, they explore to see what is the root cause of all these the non-virtuous actions giving rise to suffering. So then, through finding the root cause, then they resort to generate the respective attitude to overcome that and expect to achieve freedom from suffering. So the second category rightly squares with the Buddhist approach. So it is on this basis that in the Chinese prayer there is a mention that may the immaculate wisdom be born in me. It is through the utility of this discriminative wisdom or the intelligence that they aspire to seek the ultimate happiness. And then in Langavatara Sutra, the Buddha said that there are 3 vehicles: the vehicle of the human and the divine beings, and the vehicle of the Brahmas, and the vehicle of the Buddhas. So here, the first one, which is the vehicle of the humans and the devas or the celestial beings. So in the first case, in the first vehicle, there is this tremendous emphasis on the faith. On the basis of this faith, they tend to seek happiness and overcome suffering. And then In the second case, the vehicle of the Brahma, they emphasize on the single-pointed meditation, focus inwardly rather than outwardly, and then eventually through progressive meditative practice, one even tends to discard, one even tends to abandon the pleasurable experiences, or pleasurable feeling, and try to get there at the level of the neutral experience, so which is very advanced level of meditative concentration. And this is what is being obtained by those practitioners who transcend the level of the third concentration. And now there's another category, the vehicle of the Buddhas, referring to that approach which identifies or which appreciates the reality that all all mental fabrications, all mental disturbances, they are nothing but rooted to the self-grasping mind or the self-grasping ignorance, and then realizing that it is only by means of cultivating the wisdom which understands the selflessness to combat the self-grasping ignorance. So it is on the basis of this reality, it is on the basis of this the approach that one seeks to achieve the happiness. So this is the what is referred to as the vehicle of the Buddhas. So we see that all these three vehicles, they again share the commonality that they look for progress in the mind. And then we see that these three vehicles, they evolved on this earth 3,000 years ago. Say at first, the Christianity, the Judaism, Islam, Taojiao, all these different traditions, they believe in the concept of God or Creator. And from their perspective, everything is nothing but created by God. And so when one has such an attitude, when one has such an outlook that everything is created by God, then it is as though like you feel yourself like a child and depending entirely on the parents. So whatever kind of the happiness or your plight, you simply trust and you simply rely or entirely on the God. So whatever problem you may come across, you simply think, oh, God knows. So here then, this is really something very powerful approach, because when somebody is struck by a problem, then one will not be overwhelmed by the problem. Rather, the person will still have a sense of hope upon the God. So then the person will feel relief of think about how the God is, God creates all these things. So on the basis of that, those who believe in the Creator or God can feel a great benefit because of this concept. So this truly is something very good, appreciate, the admirable. And then because of having trust in the God, one is advised to practice love, compassion, patience, and so forth. So this is about the vehicle of the human beings and the deva beings. And as for the vehicle of the Brahmas, the second one, so the approach is to look for the faults of the lower realms and look for the qualities of the higher realms, and on the basis of that they try to build a very refined state of meditative concentration, whereby it is at one point it becomes so refined that they even see the fault of the pleasurable experiences, and thereby they tend to upgrade to the refined state of the neutral experience. And now, if you think about now all these traditions, the first two traditions, we see that they all believe in the concept of a solid self or Atma, which is totally independent of the aggregate. So in these two vehicles, there is no concept of selflessness, but it is Buddhism which teaches the concept of selflessness, where it says that such a self as Atma does not exist. Self, Atma or soul, does not exist, because if it does exist, it should be something independent of the aggregates or the powers of the self. But in true sense, we don't find a self which is which is independent of the aggregates. So it is on the basis of this understanding of the selflessness, something a self which is not pointable as Atma, that on the basis of this understanding we expect to reduce the self-grasping mind. So this is very unique of Buddhism.
가다치루 사물로리야 곧다 가서 밀 판도 여대버지 차대기 하래 밀 판도 누버 여대버지 차대기 하래 다전에 다외 차를 셔베이나 아니 밑에 뭐 먹고 하래 근데 지금 거 보고 되게 수주가 나는 이나야 낭세게야 소소서 다와 밑에 뭐 용되게 하래 다가는 신기 지금 거 보고 민중의 수주가 나라래 근데 제인 차샤나 지도가 보면 민주부 찍거래 산재배 쇼도 찍거래 다가는 신기 장신 삶에 뭐 차샤네 지도가 보면 민주부 찍거래 근데 남바체 지수부터 지도가 보면 민주부 찍거래디 이내 야 셴이부터기 강사로 안 주트베 말에 강사로 안 주트베 자유가 다 누구잖아 뜻이랑 다 누구야래 산재배 아니 다 민들거리 다음에 봐 송비야래 저자 낭식이 다외차를 셔윤들 민들이 잡아서도 봐 디디 다와 민저와 여버도 군제도 제대 근데 출run디 여그리 출run디 도그리 세니 러야데 카오샤래 빼나가도 내 나자지 연배 커도라 내디 세야기 아니 맨 땅도잖아 맨 공체로 지다 맨지 그게 른단체로 지기 다야 말봐 나서 코라 맨 가르고 유메 ditto 유레 마도 맨 른단체로 기지 말봐 자 근데 인도산에 나서 코라라 딱딱하게 패야기 맨지는 른단체 중 기지 말이 맨디 내 텔라 맨디 섭슈레 약슈레스 나바텔라 내 티여댕이 나바텔라 맨디 약슈레스 럽토고라 베드는 시체니 최근하는 사샤나 소수 감도 몇번 먼저 여바 인도산에 감도 몇번 더 뜀베 뜻줄디 강사들아 렌시 차대요래 펜시 차대요래 데레마도 아니 뜻줄 그게 가서 우리 그게 서부 여대바다 다시부 여대바 직 아니 탐자로 뒤니 여기서 럽혀야 가오샤래샤 자 근데 인도산에 어레 다 뜻줄 면자와디 구구야래 가려서나 감도 몇바 면자와 야래 뒤 여바 인도산에 대단 강성기 뜻줄 면자와지 구구야래 빼나 산지 좀 된데기 전장 나는 차샤나 좀 된데를 교수신에 산지 쇼기 누르 교수신에 지교고 나로래야 아니 남주 지중 감도 매배 개발래 좀 된데기 아니 빼나 풍부한 쿨쿠어 보내 강사고 선송돼야 되기 풍부 쿨겐기 강사감 다지 여바 나버지 송도가 좀 되게 다양 그리 셈트는 디지 연구리 다 되는 디지 연구리 셈 송돼야 되기 셈간에 다 여외 서비스 다 해야 돼 셈해야 돼 직과로 지기 근데 송도가 양 독하셔가 나라래야 아니 강사매 레유 해야 돼 송도가 디는 시전에 강사매 풍부유 해야 내 송도가对吧当然熊科技拿到了呀其实那我原本的也是呢其实要嘛的是什么修的送的这多啊这个都拿到了当然其实的那个什么要买不起呢他们这老大买不的是送的这多啊没找到啊这种的那个俩丢失期间给南北拿到了但可说南北让他送给要了吧南北是送给要了吧자 남바지 남배 나로라 감도 매번 먼저 여번 인도산에 감도 매번 먼저 대다 뜸버지기 가서 우리 떠주고 구구여번 인도산에 좀 된데기 두제 300만 개 거래 감도 뜸버지기 최 송도가 그래서 디레 인도산에 상계배 중대나 상계배 최근 나라야 다외찬에 중도마와 시설 시에 말이야. 자와 중도마와 좀더 시세. 좀더 시타라 더동 낭세게. 아니 봐 캐버라 봐 이해 인도산에 중도 먹고 샤도 봐. 상계배 나라. 중도 먼저 먹고도 봐. 자 디디 공무원에서는 고구도 봐. 와다 디 rin지담이나 지된 거버 되땡에 기 뜻도 미 감담나봐 제라고 찔러 떠는 데 고도가 자 들이 있는 거 출루 3월날이야 아주 크십체 거야 출루 3월날이야 뭐네 지금 민망구리에 팽기열에 삼바디 문지 제베타네 아주 크십체에 개심을 해. 다 대바도 그번이 이야와 체체 대바 체한테 소수 최대로 대바시키래. 그거도 최 탐자를 해야 되죠.
在这世界上有很多不同的宗教思想，可是，在
On this earth, we see the diversity of religious faiths. And if you think carefully, we see that all these different traditions, they have equal potential to be of benefit to the mankind. But from the point of view of the philosophy, of course, there could be divergent views. For example, there's one category of religious tradition, who believe in the concept of God, and others not. Even within the category of those not believing in God or Creator, say for example, Jain and the Samkhya, who doesn't propose the idea of a deity, although they don't believe in the concept of God or Creator, but still they have an adherence, or they have a belief in a solid self, Atma or soul. They believe in the self to be autonomous substantial reality, self having the nature of the autonomous substantial reality. And they also believe in the self to be eternal, unitary, and independent by nature. Whereas Buddhism has no concept, Buddhism not only having the concept of God, it has no concept of such a concrete, eternal, unitary self. It is because of this that Buddhism proposed the idea of the selflessness, meaning a self does not exist as independent nature, as autonomous substantial nature, as unitary, eternal, independent self. So, of course, on the philosophy level, we see there are divergent views. So, however, if you simply on the basis of the difference in philosophy, if you try to say that, oh, this religion is best and the other is not, this is totally a distorted view. Because if you think about medicine, it's not something we can determine the quality of the medicine or the benefit of the medicine on the basis of its cost price. Say, a particular medicine could be the best to a particular sickness, but it cannot be best to other sicknesses. As such, we can only speak of the benefit of the medicine, the effectiveness of the medicine in relation to a particular sickness, and we cannot generalize that, oh, this medicine is best without taking into consideration the sicknesses which it is supposed to cure. Similarly, because among the human beings, we see that there are divergent mental, temperament, interest, and mental caliber. So it is totally a relative phenomena. So depending on what kind of temperament one has, then a particular tradition or religious tradition will make sense. Or otherwise, we cannot simply pick up one and say that, oh, this is the best religion for all the human beings. This one thing. And second thing is that we also need to know that the divergent views are absolutely required to suit the different temperaments and mental dispositions of the different beings. Say, for example, if you take the Buddhism itself, if you take the Buddha's followers, or the Buddhist followers following the same teacher, Buddha, if you think about this, we see that the Buddha taught all different philosophies, all different views. So this again is primarily is just there, is taught all these different views in order to suit the different in order to respect the different mental dispositions of the beings. So at one point the Buddha said that the body and the mind, the aggregates, they are like a load, and a person or the self is the carrier of the load, indicating as though there's a self which is something distinct from the aggregates, distinct, and a self which is independent of the aggregates. One. And second, on another occasion, the Buddha said that, if you have a peaceful mind, if you have a tamed mind, it is happiness. If you have a tamed self, this is happiness, indicating as though that the mind is the self, mind is the person. And third, yet on another occasion, the Buddha said that, the self does not exist, but the karma exists, indicating that the self is not something portable, but the aggregates are something portable. Again, implicitly indicating as though the self and the indicating as though that the aggregates or the karma and the aggregates are something portable and solid, although the self is something vague, opaque. And again, on another occasion, the Buddha said that, the external reality does not exist, but it is only the mind which exists, indicating as though that the mind exists so solidly, but no external reality. And then in another time, the Buddha said, just as the external reality does not exist, there is the internal world as well, does not exist independently, indicating that everything, the mind being no exception, is lacking independent existence. So here we see, even within the domain of Buddhism, we see the Buddha, the same teacher, giving all different views. So if you think as to why the Buddha did that, is simply to comply, is simply to conform to is simply to respect the different the divergent views, the divergent mental dispositions and the temperaments of his followers. So it is because of this that in Buddhism you find 4 different schools. And if you still study more closely, we see that there are still more subdivisions branched out from these 4 schools. So we see that even in the practical sense, there's a tremendous need for the divergent views and divergent philosophy. So with the due recognition that all different religious beliefs, however divergent they are in their views, but they are of great benefit to the humanities, a great number of humanities. As such, we should be able to maintain respect to all these different traditions. But in terms of respect and faith, we should make a distinction. We should maintain respect to all different traditions, but in terms of faith, it is your tradition in which you have trust and belief.
Tenji Jabra Jonga Sayadi, Sanje Jomden Degi, the Sungibe, Kasu Beta, Samnero, Sungibe, Masakia, Metal Chonjiri, this one.
And the Buddha and it says that dependent origination is the essence, is the treasure, it is a profound aspect of the teaching of the Buddha.
저는 좀 전에 그 담바시 송야디 땡진 잡는 중앙에서 디기 다외团에 송기야래 다와 디团에 송기야래 가려서 봐이나 아니 동네 마주 면도야게 동네 대당 대베 대와서야 디니부디 주매발의 중앙 말이스 딱배 줄의 중앙에 말이스 답은 좀 장배배 rin가 셰기 주밀이 껴 셰기야래 디체나 하장 태도리 디 말이스 다야 장진배 아니 지소세하게 딱바시 셰님 델리 기버리세 안으로 야 모티베 슝가셰 둘 딱바이나 딱배 둘리 기버스 거이나 드립디 셰기야래 디에 말에 태기 말에 가르스라나 제불라 아주 통대하게 제불라 교원 조대야디 교원 조대야가 런시시래 교원 조대야가 저부터는 집에 있는 사람 대기식이 주대야 교원 중에서 연구를 마도 교원 매배 딱배는 신기 주직이 교회는 신기 저부터 두 말했어 비송교하래 따전에 야 지금 거봐보 지금 거봐보 로이 요원도 저에 타네 지금 좀 시내 되어 말했어 처진에 지금 거봐보 딱봐 정중기 기부谢谢요 지금 거봐보 줄이 제가 샤워 주나 양녀도 사고 차이고요 봐 자상가 지금 거봐보디 랑게 랑게 주민 정중실다 샤워로 봐 자상가 지금 거봐보 아니 딱봐 정중기 기부지 된 기부지 드리지 다 가서래 뭐가 정신 전질을 샤니 대 거버스라나 딱배 줄이 좋은지 차는 것도 와 뒤에 밑에 같이 차는 거야 양초 찍네 아니 지네 거버 군조디 제외 정신是吧다 아니 네버 타르토베 정신是吧다 켐바 타르토고지 차려 봐 아니 나도 점불이 녀도 사고 시부지 동네 먹고 싶으시대 버지 지네 거버 거버 나왔을네 대오스게도 봐 자, 저래 이르사네 지네 거버 로이 영어도 저 타네 중원세야 돼 대보여 말이스 다오는 가려서나 가서 우리 그게 제부 조어저댕에 대다 릭숭버지기 그냥 조어저댕에 드르지 타네 아니 제부도 깨고레스 다 달아야 토미기 슝고 나로래야 아니 가사 땡진 저번 중앙스 땡땡양나 중이기 땡땡양나 중이기 도스바 준제 용대야 달아야 겐숨사 송겨야래 겐숨세네 요메베 겐세네 군족으로 요원도 저한테 중앙에 말했어 되네 미다게 겐스 스즈자네 두대 깨변 저부터 미다가 깨지깨지 지야가 정신체지만 인도산에 깨지기 욕화나야 깨지깨지 직배 더니 전식이 인국그레스 드리도 미다가 깬스 다야 존재 니가로 교회는 신체가 미다가 임바 짱게 되게 말이 직tum버고 그레스 봐 근데 주스 저부 숙제이나 주디에 거를 숙제이 쳐 저부디 시바 잠시바이나 숨미 팬미 가서 시바 가서 영상부터 니시바이나 그 대도 tumbe 대도 직tum버지기 직tum버스네면도 다 가다 대도 제tum버스네면도 드리지기 다 줄때네 영국을 했어 근데 인도 뉴베켄스 데뷔 넘줄 간제 여다바 대 깨토야게 누베 여다바지기 주스국을 했어 근데 인도 뉴베켄스는 겐숨스 시에도 와 어다 대다 주도 겐삼로 때네 중어래 마도 규밀의 중어 말에 딱배 줄의 중어 말에 지네고법의 중어 지네고법의 로이 영어도 들어가는 중어 말에 라랑게 틈배 주도 겐삼로 때네 중어래 사게 땡진 잡을 중어 사다 디셔베 자 데데 임베 인도산에 제부 동에 세야데 동에 제야게 누가 여대버지 줄되는 연구야 알았어 땡도 대화세야 돼 디기 때야게 누가 여대버지 줄되는 연구야 알았어 다 딘데기 균제기 땡중 세대야 다 디시를 샤베 타라 디시샤가 타네 좀 된대기 아니 동네 담바 군주다 봐샤 가서 우리 그게 군의 용모 저거 담바 니부터 도 송이 봐 다 남자 저거 담바 니 선에 송돼야 돼 고배 담바도 남자 담바 선에 송돼야 돼 고배 담바 써야 돼 재회 연대질 시행해야 돼. 재회 연대질. 그 뉴제 멤버래. 와. 그 제주체식 님부께베 떡기 매송장. 그다 된대게 다 자와. 디 재서디 가와랬으면 심지 순위가 삼등주래. 是吧？但这南北中的门照蒙古越南老呢，但都欧美的路，但西下前的线呢，哎呢，甚至去年讲了，他的上当时的，他说的这个什么，的牛毛土松时代啊个，川北三个卷第一的，起数个等个卷嘛吧，偏北等个卷嘛吧，那三个等个卷是吧？三个等个卷因不的，可东北成个样了，老可能跟人当的七老数等个差的吧，可老关系了差的吧，老些些，是吧？真正印度啥呢？可卷钱在多啊，是吧？可他卷钱的三个等个人当七老多人等个这个老是差掉了吧？但老的你不的，三可能个讲呢，七老个团的。七十老的七十老我银不的写不老的人当的七十老银不的写不钱呢，人当团了，没那不银不的写不钱呢，第写不老的个人当七十老都约定个谈了呀，个难有多啊，难呢，写不的七十老都人不老的，没啥的可把没上的，什么可能的。硬了呀，新转起来嘛，都，可吃老转没得吧？是，什么可能啊？习俗上呢，看的时候呢，忙不得，什么的去年了忙的，什么蛋白当的了，蛋白的主不的人的呗，老真的去查用，因为啥呢？什么可能的内陆的人性就当了吧？俺的帮着点人的，什么的去年了七老子不落下的吧？加上甚至去年的七老子人被落地，甚至去年其他外星都写被落地个，你不给呢？人当改革过呢？那是那些的去年，那呢？提把新主站呢，甚至去年因，甚至去年，但把我们看的因不提，我都觉得用的站呢，是吧？提空都去，提了你那农民，提了我都觉得用的站呢，这么三十多，所以这里用的站呢。什么三是啊？上头当时我到的，但最近马上往个三百给人买不起，可什么三的？你不懂点解别到的，甚至内陆西边落地个，甚至内陆的几路到个落地，哎你，看住，但甚至因素西山的，什么可能硬了吧？听不出来说的，现在有的咱呢，甚至确实因素小事，啊，他去年的忙呢，给的呢，去年的七路的这边落地，去年其他些都到过落地，看个去年的时候做什么学习过来，分别去年的人的，俺的这些样都做什么学习讲先有的，这他把俺的人下边呢，他就下不下来下，他这里面有的啥呢？我的什么确实因素三是的，什么确实因素他是的，但我定是这个上等的，我定是的，是啊，但真正这个我定的，真正个财外原点的。可能究竟的究竟的结果的马来的，早了单的结果有的啥呢？究竟的单的中文不的，什么？这大概说的究竟的单的中文马来的，连国外谈不到，大概是三届个啥嘢，对不起个原来的就这的早了单的中文的，是这里有的啥呢？究竟的单的中文的，是那么单的中文的，是什么多吧？哦，这里因为有的啥呢？当时你学习的讲累不多啊。是真正印度，俺的一个他说的，但电中是啊个谈，就这个电中他是没有吧？就这个电中，俺就通出来有的吧？对军事都切切，哎呢，缺呢，搞他缺哪了嘞？反正这部就了电呢，中文字，俺就通用的啥呢？他说第热之前，他贴了电呢，呀我上大北呢，这部的。想了代表人心先去，赢了，就是对错误吧？这部的下来样想了对国不买呢，这部的就是对个嘛吧？加上个这部准备全看到看人，这部准备本来大家说的，这些全看到看人那样，可能个人心的，可能主要的想了对的主观性吧，想了哪来的主观性吧？因为啥呢？个究竟对不对态度啊？想了哪来不是啊？的，看起来全部嘞，想了哪来啊？个人心应对不对？看的时候呢，可让王个准备不大的多啊，让王个准备不想对嘛吧？所以这里就是啥呢？单人中文的，究竟的单人中文都上当不赢了， 对别人心不就上么垮退啊？对别人心不上都垮用的在那怕上当呢？对别没别让往没得不就上么垮用的吧？哦，但对面让往个主别当地去你讲上等于下的，太可能你是啊个，但我这些个了，我但第一团呢，啊的我不入住的，这送这一辈人就是我不入住的，干啥？강기 제자 인사래 강기 계장 지보다 순리 인의 방주가 땡진 저번 중수의 통한들 차차로스 전에다 깨와던 지바스 통야시도 와. 다 깨와던 지바 라바된 것도 통대가 그래. 다 깨와던 지바 참은데 다 라바 통대 뭐 데이터는 도 사람다나 계지 지배 아니 지바다 지바 거라 계지 그게다 계지 깨만 타도 직 독선다 진지 참은데 진지 라바에 거야 되네 진지 참은데 생각하시도 와. 자 드리면 인도산에 따오 강달 진시 통야 진시 라바데 가서 통야 요 되버시래 텔레데네 진시 참고 가서 보토야지래 근데 진시 연구 진시 요 되버 대 균제도 해야지 근데 진시 땡중 균제도 제대 강기 깨던 지보다 추리 있는 방법에 근데 진시 가서 로라 땅윤도 전에 로라 나윤도 깨와 슬럽도 르 잡아 뭐인가 르 사바마이 러바사마이바 당고볼라 계시 지거지 여대바지 로 샤용도가 샤와다도 주비어는 템바르바 템바인고도가 때문에 라와지 로 샤고도가 자 때문에 라와디 샤요야디 다 사무스타바이나 그때는 주고도 진짜인데 아주 로래야 경경면에 라왕 거는 두버도 있는 것도 돼. 나와도 좀 탁주에서 뭐지? 내가 탑야지도 와. 진짜 인도 강기 깨던 지보다 순리 있는 방주에 댄신 저번 중수로 통한다고 자사로 스타트 소원이 말이야. 자가 진짜 인도 다 되게 댄중데 댄중이야. 나와 댄지사지. 나와 댄중사지다. 동부 댄중사지 니셰. 다 대기가 계시디 교전 제불 된 도시 연구 열사 되게 나와 된중 시 나와 된중 대 균전도 제제 동바 된중 시 연구 열 어다 들이 좀 고불로 주기 댄신 제불은 좀 생각할까 봐서 댄신 제불 좀 겨와이 숨기 저기 제가 사무대에서 소용 그래 내 벽에 지리 자서 내 돈 쓰다가 지금 후두에
His Holiness is wondering when His Holiness is teaching in Tibetan. The Chinese audience, they are attentively looking at His Holiness. Do you understand anything what I said? The Buddha Shakyamuni, when he first taught the Four Noble Truths, the entire discourse on the Four Noble Truths is based on the view of the 12 links of dependent origination. So what is that Four Noble Truths? So here, the happiness that we desire and the suffering that we dislike, the Buddha says that they are nothing but derived through their respective causes and conditions. So then, so when it says that these are derived through respective causes, it rejects the idea of the causeless production of happiness and pleasure. Like Charvakas, one of the non-Buddhist Indian philosophers, philosophical school, accepting in the causeless production. So this is what is rejected. And secondly, it says that the cause which gives rise to the suffering and happiness, again, should not be a permanent cause, because some other Indian schools, such as Samkhya, they believe in something known as the primal substance, prakriti, primal substance, which is responsible, which is permanent by nature, and giving rise to all other things. And then also, yet there is another Indian school who believes in a permanent particles, which is responsible in giving rise to the entire universe and so forth. So in both these both these 10 points, they are not tenable, because if the results are something having the nature of impermanence or changing, how come that the cause is unchanging or permanent? Because in order to have the result which is changing, without the cause undergoing a change, how can that give rise to a result? As such, these positions are rejected. And third, there is yet another section of the schools, philosophical school, who believe in the creation of everything by the power of omnipotent being or omnipotent person. Again, this is quite a problematic, because if you believe in that omnipotent agent as full of love, full of potential, and full of knowledge, or omniscient, then how can that create a chaotic world? So again, to resolve this problem is a huge the challenge. And then, from Buddhist perspective, in order for any result to come into being, it must be given rise to by a cause which is having a nature of changing or impermanence. Asanga, while he was explaining the 12 links of dependent origination, he was pointing to the causes endowed with three characteristics. First one is the three conditions or the three principles. The first one is the principle or the condition, the unwavering principle. Second, impermanent principle, and the third, the concomitant principle or the potential principle. First one, which is unwavering principle, pointing to the untenability of the creator giving rise to all other phenomena. One, so indicating that the cause must be something existent, something which is tenable. And the second, when it says the impermanent principle, pointing to the need to have the cause, not only having cause, but the cause to be impermanent. It should not be permanent. And third, when it says the potential principle or the potential condition, he's referring to the need to have a corresponding cause, a cause which should be concomitant to the result. Say, for example, if the result is in the form of a physical, tangible thing, it must be given rise to as for the substantial cause of the tangible result. It must be something substantial. It must be something a tangible cause giving rise to that result, which is tangible. And in terms of mind, in terms of a mere experience, again, it must be given rise to by a cause which is concomitant in the nature to the result, which is mind or the mere experience. So this understanding of the need for the causes to be endowed with these three conditions or characteristics is what is known as the dependent origination of causality. So here, it is on the basis of this principle that the Buddha taught the Four Noble Truths, where he says that the suffering that we dislike is given rise to the causes, the corresponding causes, and the happiness that we like to achieve is also derivative of the corresponding causes. So this is what is known as the dependent origination of causality. So the Buddha, when he taught the Four Noble Truths, we see that these Four Noble Truths constitute two sets of causality. One, the causality of suffering. Second, causality of freedom from suffering. The first one, the truth of suffering and the truth of cause of suffering, forms the first set. And then, the cause of suffering, it is the one which would give rise to the suffering. If you don't like to have the suffering, we need to overcome the cause of suffering. Next, the second set, the set of causality from the point of view of purification or freedom from suffering. So here, this constitutes the next two truths: the truth of the cessation of suffering and the truth of the path leading to the cessation. So what is the cessation of the truth of cessation? So this is a quality of abandonment of pollutants. So, and this quality, or the cessation, or the nirvana, is to be understood as a non-composite thing. So in what way this is non-composite thing is that this cessation of suffering, this cessation of the afflictions, is what we should be understanding in terms of from the point of view of these afflictions getting rid of. And the question is, what is the basis from where these afflictions are gotten rid of? It should be the ultimate reality of the mind. It is the emptiness nature of the mind, and this is what is being explained strictly from the point of view of the highest Buddhist school, Madhyamika. Again, if you think carefully, all these three afflictive emotions, the poisonous afflictive emotions, they are nothing to do with the tangible things, but they are there, existent in our mind, connected to our mind. And these three afflictive emotions, not only that they give rise to suffering, but they're also having the nature of contamination, having the nature of distortion. So now to overcome these afflictive emotions, we must resort to a remedy. What could that remedy be? So that remedy must be sought from the mind itself, within the mind. And that remedy should be a remedy of these by means of identifying the reality that these afflictive emotions, they are distorted by nature. And so this remedy, which understands that, things don't truly exist so objectively or so independently, as the contrary to the way it is apprehended as so objectively and independently by these afflictive emotions. So when that mental state, which understands the reality as to how things are lacking independent objective reality, so then that remedy, which is referred to as the wisdom, which understands the reality, so then the practitioner should try to maintain this experience of the ultimate reality, the wisdom which understands ultimate reality. So it is through gaining a very profound experience in this ultimate reality, having a non-dualistic experience of emptiness, that then the afflictions will be gotten rid of. So we see that it is only when one is immersed non-dualistically into the experience of emptiness that the afflictive emotions are gotten rid of. So this is what is referred to as the truth of cessation of afflictions, the truth of cessation of suffering. And again, since that it is the experience of emptiness of non-dualistic experience of emptiness, that the cessation is achieved. And this emptiness should not be thought of in terms of the emptiness nature of external objects. Rather, it should be the emptiness of the mind. So we see that it is the emptiness of mind on the basis of which the pollutants, mental pollutants, such as afflictions, are gotten rid of. The cessation is achieved. And this is particularly very clearly explicated in the tantric systems. So this is what is known as the third truth, the truth of the cessation of suffering and its respective causes. So now here to make it more technical, this truth of the cessation, although it is non-composite, it is not something caused by the conditions, but this is achieved only through effort. As such, it is said that this truth of cessation is not caused by the causes and conditions. Rather, it comes into being by dependence on causes and conditions. So we should be able to make the distinction between this cessation being caused by cause and conditions, and this cessation being brought into being by dependence on causes and conditions. So now, on the basis of this, if we still give more thought to it, thought to dependent origination, what it means by dependent origination, it is not simply the dependent origination of causality. On the basis of this understanding of the causality, if we think carefully, if we probe deeply, we see that unless the result which is given rise to by a cause, unless the result has the nature of changing, it cannot possibly be given rise to by a cause, because it cannot possibly depend on on its causes, because in order to depend on a cause, it must be originally non-existent, and then eventually, by the power of the causes, it should be given rise to. As such, a result should necessarily have the nature of undergoing change, undergoing having the nature of the transitoriness. So, once we are fully convinced of the reality, the fact that the result should necessarily be having the nature of the changing, having the nature of dependence, then we see that, since that the result is dependent on causes, it has the nature of dependence. It is not an independent reality. So this absence of independent reality of the result is what is known as the ultimate reality of the result. So it is on this understanding that in Nagarjuna he said that whatever is produced and whatever ceases is what is to be abandoned. This is what is known as the concept of dependent origination. It is the Buddha Shakyamuni who taught this, and I make salutation to him. So here again, we see that when Nagarjuna was saying that the production and ceasing, they don't exist intrinsically or objectively. So here, we first understand that the production on the very gross level, and on the basis of the gross level of the production, we see that we can infer the subtler level of the production, momentary level of the production. So although this production is something that exists by dependence on others, but to a mind it appears to exist so objectively and independently. So, but if you understand that the production is lacking independent existence, then we have a very strong conviction that, although it is dependent in nature, but to a mind it appears to exist independently. So then you discover the disparity between how this production appears to us so objectively and so independently, but the reality that the production is a dependent nature. So here the dependent origination can be understood from two perspectives. One in the perspective of the appearance, and the other on the perspective of the emptiness nature. So the first one, dependent origination on the perspective of the appearance, is referring to the causality. And the dependent origination from the perspective of emptiness is the ultimate reality, emptiness of independent reality. So this is the essence, this is the treasure of the Buddha's teaching.
quantum physics 제네다 상계배 지운의 소야리야 숙진진 시절라 초기 차도 잡지 마도 참여해 말이지 나 시바 용원도 차셔버이나 그 균제도 균제도 균도 잡지 균도 잡아 있는 자네 그 깨지 거를 균도 스타 튀는 거야래 대고 지가서래 균기 참여되지 야말이스. 자, 이런 의미에서는 가다 치편부 있는다, 나시바 있는다, 삼월로 찾아야지. 이런 의미에서는 그 수진 뒤처럼 찾아내, 그 찾은 차이잖아요. 그 차를 때네 찾은 시기마도 찾은지 인신제라 그 차를 때네 다시버지마도 찾셔래 로수 찾은 연결과 니아메도 세부도가 자, 드리브인 두산 예, 자상가 차신 매번 있나요? 차셔선 걸 샤도 말와. 그 차전을 때네 차셔샤. 차셔를 때네 차전샤. 그 바샤가 제가 집에 있는 차전설이 니아메 되지 그래도가. 그래서 어다 드리인 두산에 다가는 지금 누머식이 취어리에 대해 그 지용기 누머식이 취어 나로도 지드시라 샤용 그래. 그 지스도 두산에 그 제라 차소소로 떼는 다시버지. 지코라 조조가 집에이나 무디비 좀 것이네 지 양가로 왔으니 직실도 와 지탄신 集团写才写有嘞。상제배熊나로 네 지사야디 차 가서 그 지라로 뜨는 다셔도 또 야마리 스타워 독세네 가다 다셔시다 지래도 다 투스라베네 투연의 야리 이네 투 지세 시직의 때네 투샤나마도 투코를 냠도 와 당연히 신 투 내마오 다다 투숨실라베이나 자가 심베이나 다다서야디 하름 냠도 와 다다와 니야 매매 가서래 다다와서 니야 매매 인도산에 다다와를 뜨는 내마오 쇼유마도 야마로 와 그래서 들이 인도산에 자나 니야 매대버지 이네 어디 들이 인도산에 그 뜨는 샤야 지금 마다 맞으면 안에 뜨네 아니 내 마오 다다 투숨스 별로 샤샤나 아주 가서 배는 들을 수석집은 아주 다대회 들을 위해서 시야도로 와 죄송아 들을 니슈벌을 뜨네 디 다다회 들을 니슈바다 들을 니슈 정리벌을 뜨네 니슈저집을 다다와래 상서도 거로 뜨네 또 샤는 지소아 다 로르 집에네 너닝을 로다 상표를 로니기 빠라가 로디 달로 생민다는 저기로 와 다이나 봐봐 또 상하시면이나 달로 써야 돼 나와 중니도 봐도 대치면이나 나와 샤 추즈 까르마 까르셔 집이나 까르셔 체연체디 대버리 까르셔 체면체디 마음버리 다다오면도 와 냠도 와 그래서 대대 대천배 강도 강이네 다른 시면서 자실에 했으면 슬라베이나 다 제법을 자화든 전에 제법을 샤워로 와 자화고 제법은 전에 샤워도 와 봐. 제법으로 맞대배 자화를 맞대배 제법 누가 대신도 자외유 자화들 내는 자외유 저기를 맞아 시샤면도 와. 그래서 이런 의미에서는 다 대대 대처면 망고지 또 상담에는 뜨는 샤도 와. 뜨는 샤도 와. 그래서 진짜로지 뒤에만 저기서 말이 최 탐자로 뜨는 샤고 저래샤스. 어다 디기 때는 딱왜 된중사들이 규진의 때는 중에 된중식 때는 딱왜 된중식 니샤 다 때는 딱왜 된중들이야 니샤 차셔를 때는 딱왜 된중식 다 따고 되길래는 지리 그다 때는 샤야지 또도 파워 상당인데 다 유지면은 디센 조조서 매다 탄예배 르 딱왜 거네 예바지 마도 뭐 가서 뭐 소래 그 유루티 그 인루스네면도 그 유루티 파 딱왜 따네 예바지 마도 파 딱발로 마대로 코랑 면에 두드러지 야 말이서 나디 때는 딱왜 땡중 참무디 말이 나디 아주 동니 참무시다 대상등 거 다 때는 딱와 뭐인 봐 고랑문에 주베 똥인데 다 똥번이 있으다 다 모두 됐더리 당어도 시험님은 나러야 풍부가부터 장르를 신이 도마도 많이 저도 따오스 제가 나로 장르를 야말사 벽에 나로 장르시도 이 장르를 연애 야가서도 장르들 가르치고서는 다치 강사 정신이 매서도 마세베 강사 강을 때는 딱왜 풍부가부터 정신이 못 주고 그랬어 그래서 남식이 풍부의 정신이 못 주고 그랬어 샤인 거야 그래서 그 누가 싶어도 와 단 풍부가부터 정신이 도마도 저도 따오서 다 책디 풍부가부 때는 야말送的와 풍부가부터 정신이 동거래送的와 어다 거디만 내니 샴드만 미미 수미 잠미 팀미 로미 저게면送在第三毛团大的点수미 잠미 팀미 로미 사로 미미 나오면 남미 팀미 사도 되지 무슨 게만 해 러버 그 점으로 제시 나 암두지기 그 실이 년대비 말에 미지 실이 몰라 그 실이 못돼 미지 년시대 그 미미 나오면 남미 팀미 리미 이미신 그 domdevche ta mi me na me na me se logi te ko martel go me se lo yakshyo je se lo di so je je ada di me se ga tanda de一大的公共的人行动了就到我是的人行动过在这这边的是在慢慢嘛的要的越当的但是大上去他谈你是是我们这的地方
因此呢，这个缘起见呢是佛法的一个。
The teaching of dependent origination. This is the essence of the Buddha's teaching, and the dependent origination. This concept can have varying layers of understanding. There are three. One is the dependent origination of causality, And the other, so first, it has two kinds: dependent origination of causality and the dependent origination of mere imputation. The dependent origination of imputation. And the dependent origination of imputation has further two divisions: dependent origination of dependence on parts, and the subtle dependent origination of imputation. So the first one, dependent origin of causality, is what is already being explained. Now, second, dependent origination of the imputation. It has two parts. First one, dependent origination of imputation on the basis of the parts. So if you think about the physical material things or the mental world, say physical material thing, we can divide that into two, and the first part can be further divided into more. So if you go on dividing the particles, the further and further, we see that we will never come to a point where you can trace a partless particle. So this is what is being discussed in quantum, the contemporary physics, quantum mechanics. I see there are a lot of bases to discuss this topic with the quantum scientists. So now if you think about the matter, although there are different views, but generally speaking, all Buddhist schools, they commonly accept that the matter, we cannot find among the matters any indivisible particles. So however fine a particle might be, it is still divisible. So there's, in short, what is being said here is that whatever matter you can think of in terms of a very subtle, minute particle, it is still divisible. It's still not partless. So since that all physical material things, they are composed of divisible particles. As such, we see that the whole and the parts, they are dependent on one another. So the the object as a whole, the matter as a whole, will only make sense if we consider the parts, which are not the whole we're describing. And also, the parts also depend on the whole. So we can only think about a whole thing only if they are the parts. So the whole depending on the parts. So this is what is referred to as the dependent origination of dependence on parts. So this is with the matter. Now, in terms of the mind, although we don't find the mind to be divisible the way the matters are, but the mind can be thought of as divisible nature in a different way. Say the mind has a continuum. We can think of mind only in terms of continuity or continuum. Here again, as long as there's a continuum, it must have further segments, temporal segments. Say, the first moment of the mind, second moment of the mind, third moment, and so forth. So here, the whole mind, in the form of a continuum, can be broken apart into smaller segments into smaller temporal segments of the mind. And even the first moment of the mind, again, can be divided further into many more subtler segments of the temporal segments of the mind. So here again, from that perspective, we say that the mind as well, we cannot really point to any moment of the mind which is partless. So the mind as well is divisible and not indivisible. So the main mind, or the mind as a whole, is something dependent on the segments which composed the mind, which is referred to as the whole mind. So again, even in terms of the mind, we see that they are dependent on the its finer temporal parts. Now, if you think about the non-composite things, like the generals and the specifics, although there are some non-Buddhist schools who posit the concept of generality as something totally independent of the specifics. They point to as what is known as the isolated generality. But from Buddhist perspective, the generality will only make sense if it is imputed on a basis of some specific events or specific instances. And if you think about the time also is a dependent phenomena. It is not something absolute. So time can be explained or it can be described only if you relate that with a basis, with some other object. Without that, independent of the referent object, we cannot describe, we cannot think about the concept of time. And similarly, if you think about the time, if you try to analyze the present, past, and future, we see that the present is not something pointable under critical analysis. But still, we cannot deny the existence of the present because without present, we cannot describe the past and the future because in the past and future are the concept of time, which is imputed on the basis of the present. But we see that it is only on the unanalyzed level that we conceive of the time, the present time, on the basis of which we designate the past and the future. Say, oh, we are in the 21st century. So this is the present century. So we describe the 21st century as the present century. If you think carefully, it is this description is made on the basis take into consideration the 20th century, which is the past century, and 22nd century, which is the future century. On the basis of these two, we describe the 21st century as the present century. So, and to designate this 21st century as the present century, there is no harm. But we are not to explore any deeper. We are not to explore any deeper, crossing the border, the border of the mere conventionality. And again, in terms of the year, for example, so we say that 2007 is the present year. So again, this is designated, this is thought of only by taking into consideration the 2006 and 2008, which is the past and future. So again, as said earlier, if we try to analyze where the present is, although we describe, we are so adhered to the present time. If we try to explore deeply as to where the present time is, then we cannot be successful. We cannot really point to what the present time is. For example, we think about this 2007. This is the present time. But again, the 2007 is composed of 12 months, and some of these months are already passed, and some are yet to come. And what is that thing? So we might say that June is the present time, and June again, some of the days are already passed, and some are yet to come. Again, we cannot really trace what that June is the present, what we refer to as the present month June is. And again, we see that present day, days again, it has 24 hours. You divide that into two. So we see that half of the day is past and half of the day is future. So we cannot locate the present.
Physics.
And then similarly, all other concepts as the actor and the action, the actor and the object, they're all related, connected, dependent, mutually dependent. So it is on this basis that we see everything is but dependent origination. So the subtle understanding of dependent origination is what is referred to as the ultimate reality or the emptiness. It is because of this that in the Heart Sutra, there is a mention that even the five aggregates are lacking independent existence, indicating that it is not just the self which is lacking independent existence, it is also the five aggregates. So, and also in the Heart Sutra, there is a mention of the eyes, ears, and so forth, lacking independent existence. So there's one person who is reciting Heart Sutra, and another person listening to it and said that, why you are taking the trouble of citing all these instances, the eyes, ears, and so forth, to be lacking independent existence? Why don't you rather put it in a more easy way, saying that there is no head? So when we say that the aggregates and the self do not exist independently, independently, it doesn't mean that they don't exist altogether. They do exist, but their mode of existence is very different from independent existence. Their mode of existence is by means of dependent origination.
다 남시기 풍스 남시스야 되고 뇌벌 때는 다 셔버지래实际上네 도치기 똑배 아니 그게 시 과라 뭐인게 찍라 똑배 달라 때네 달라 테스트 다 셔버지래 저도이 어다 디 야갈이야 산제베 쳐기 다 로니동 갑자스나 로리야 어 짜바체니 유중은에 주요 말이스 다 유중은에 주메베 인도산에 다 팬은 지기 요리 요리 예베 인도산에 다 예베디 딱배 왕게 예베와도 좋습니다 저들이 이르스는 딱배 왕게 예바 신 때는 딱와 세야 되다 산제베 슝 나로 로동다 니 하우스다 다 송디야 다 텐사 체집에 유중은에 주메베지 다 하람 숙신 시샤chen 유중은에 주메베지 하람 통구야 해 자다 유루디 자마시베가라 리도드 시도
现在的物理学家呢，他们透过很细微的这种非常
So the contemporary physics, particularly quantum theory, from their point of view, they are quite successful in positing that things, particularly in association with the material things, physical tangible things, they are successful in saying that, the physical tangible things are not findable through critical analysis, through close analysis. However, they are not successful in positing as to how the physical material things can possibly exist, even though they are not findable through critical analysis. However, then in Nagarjuna's in Nagarjuna's precious garland, there's a mention that the self of the person, because it is composed of the different 6 different elements such as earth, water, fire, and air. Fire, air, space, and consciousness. As such, the self is not independently existent. Rather, it exists by means of dependence on these elements. One, and the second stanza says that even these elements, just as the self is not pointable and not objectively existent because of being designated on the basis of these elements, these elements themselves, because they are composed of further subtler parts and particles, they also themselves lack independent existence. They are also imputed. So what is being said here is that, for example, if you think about the elements that compose the self or the person, so these elements, none of these elements is the self, but it is by having these elements, and then you mentally, subjectively, you try to impute a self over there. So, what are you trying to impute over there is not findable there objectively. So, although these elements, the elements of the water, space, air, fire, and so forth, although they themselves are not the self, but it is mind which imputes the self on the basis of something which is not a self. And since 2,500 years ago, there has been a deep analysis being undertaken in relation to this. So it is on this kind of on the basis of this analysis that the Buddha found that there is no objectively existing things, but things we cannot deny the existence of things. That the things do exist, but they exist by means of mere imputation. His Holiness is wondering, maybe we'll have a short break, and then what about you? You like to go? You like to go out to relieve yourself? So the weather is quite wet, and those outside under the rain. So maybe if you relieve yourself, then it might still make things more wet. On top of already and those who need to go to relieve themselves, please feel free to do that. Otherwise, I'm going to carry on. So then again, the quantum science, quantum physics, has been successful in saying that there is no objective reality to some extent, but then they are not successful. They are not being successful in positing as to how then things can exist. But then Buddhism offers the alternative, saying that although things don't exist objectively, but still they exist by means of dependent origination. So this is about the Buddhism from the point of view of the view or the wisdom side.
정말 지금
English, we are on page 106. The basic path.
다잖아. 카세한테 삼디 수림기 쳐와라 시.
Basic path or the principal path? I would prefer principal path. Page 102. We are on the second stanza. I'm going to read through the text while His Holiness is reading. The second paragraph, page 102, the principal path, stanza, this paragraph 2, the greatness of ethics. It is wholesome, immeasurable, favorable, and a great result and advantage.
가서 이거 다려 연대시 샹을 라와다. 애는 랑가 삼바 타고로 소고 되게 다 시순셔가 다 되는 저 연대시전 담배 수준대 양다고로 랑바당 랑베 제수.
Next, wholesome. What are the qualities of undertaking and proceeding to train oneself in ethics endowed with those four qualities, benefit oneself and the rest?
양다고 랑바도 제수 러베스 다라 편바도 샹을 편바도 교망보로 편바도 다디 교망보로 편바도 직된라 닝자와로 소바다.
The self-benefit.
다 잘라야 다나 편바 소 송소 대라. 년두기
The self-benefit of, so I'm going to change some of the words, so make sure that you take note of them. The self-benefit of Shravakas and Pradika Buddhas achieves only self-pacification and self-discipline in meager aims and deeds in order to attain the elimination of defilement or of suffering by means of knowledge of the Four Noble Truths. The self-benefit of Bodhisattvas is the two eliminations and the two wisdoms. His Holiness Commentary.
다 타버쪽이야. 봐. 랑직부. 랑기. 다 랑기 개배. 양양 삼대.
The word pradimoksha, having the connotation of self-realization, self-liberation. So here, giving the connotation that you are striving to bring about liberation for oneself by means of the practices of the Four Noble Truths. And this is done in association with the Shravakas and the Pradika Buddhas who are focused on their personal liberation. Now the next paragraph, the second last paragraph, benefit for others at the time. Okay, so we're on the fourth stanza, the second last line of the fourth stanza. The self-benefit of bodhisattvas is the two eliminations and the two wisdoms. So here, the two eliminations referring to the elimination of the afflictive obscuration and the elimination of the cognitive obscuration. And the two wisdoms referring to the wisdom realizing the conventional reality and the wisdom realizing the ultimate reality.
시사사다 시에
So, the Shravakas and the Pradika Buddhas, although they are endowed with the wisdom, non-dualistically immersed into emptiness, but they are not endowed with the elimination of the cognitive obscuration or obscuration to omniscience.
랑기 튼 빵도 빵배 연대다 떡배 연대 타르치고 중요한 말이 있어야지. 전주 선배
So, the Shravakas and the Pradika Buddhas, since that they are more concerned about themselves, not seeking to achieve full enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings. So, because of this, that the wisdom that they have is not capable of achieving the elimination, the two kinds of elimination. The English listeners, I want to warn you that I'm doing simultaneous translation to make sure that you get the most. Otherwise, if you don't read the text while his student is reading, and if I don't do the simultaneous translation, then there is a tendency to miss a lot of things. Because the Chinese translator, since he's not reading the main text, there is this tendency of missing a lot, at least for the English listeners. Now His Holiness is reading the actual text, the chapter on ethics by Sangha, that the ethics of the Bodhisattva should be something which is of benefit to oneself, to others, to many others, and to bring about the happiness of others. Next, the second last paragraph, benefit of others. At the time that one generates the thought, one sets out to benefit those who have a spiritual class as well as those who have not. Benefit for those without class is to be explained. Firstly, by benefit for many people, to protect them from what would doubtless be a lower state of rebirth by not creating any unwholesomeness that has not yet been created, and by eliminating that which has already been created. Pleasure for many people is to project them to a higher state of rebirth by creating wholesomeness that has not yet been created, and by increasing that which has already been created. Mercy for the world or compassion for the world. Among those persons without class, there are those who are hostile, who are without the opportunity, and who, although worthy vessels, fall into distress and go to lower destinies. He awaits the proper time for these, his guests, not relinquishing the thought of achieving their benefit and pleasure.
首先呢，先讲到妙善的这部分。那也就是说，具有这个四功德的自信的施罗戒学呢，戒体呢，有什么样一个功德呢？于是宗大师在此回答说：能利他的，能利他等。那于是在此就做这个解说了：其声闻等自利益者，未见圣地有断烦恼及诸苦故，少事少业，极尽调伏而修正行。也就是声闻独觉呢。范围来讲的话，就是巴蒂摩教，就是别解脱的意思嘛。什么叫别解脱呢？就是为了自己个人的解脱的意思了。所以他们的你们现在可以用茶了，现在可以用茶。那也就是说，声闻和独觉呢，他们在修行的时候，最主要是缘自己而去修学。所以呢，他们为了自己的究竟果位，所以他们去了解四圣谛。并且断除烦恼以及一切的痛苦，因此不像菩萨般的广大事业，所以叫少事少业，但是却又获得极尽调伏而正修行者，也是因为为了自己而修行的缘故。
The last paragraph of 102, benefit of those with class is those with class is to be explained firstly by welfare for divine and human beings, to protect them into the religious shamana style of life. Their benefits are the paths of accumulation and application that induce the religious style of life. Their pleasure is to remain in a state of well-being in this life. Out of tranquility, they experience acceleration of body and mind, as well as the pleasure of spiritual deliverance. For these reasons, it is wholesome and undeceptive. The commentaries give other accounts as well, but I shall not commit them to writing. Immeasurable. Bodhisattva bases of training are comprehended by the term immeasurable.
了解如所有性的这种现证空性的智慧是有的，可是呢，它却没有办法，就是具有两种障碍，断除所知障的这种特殊的一个摄持下来去升起现证空性的智慧，这是没有的。所以在以他的国位来讲的话呢，还是没有办法圆满一切利益。那这以上呢是针对自利而说了。那现在讲利益他者，为什么现在讲自利和他利呢？是因为本文呢《菩萨地论》里面的菩萨戒品，我们从这个第9页的第2大段不是有一个论约吗？如是菩萨具四功德，自信施罗，因知即是妙善境界。所以在此中呢，是针对它每一句每一个字呢而来去做解释。所以我们刚刚看到了正受随学能立自他，所以在讲到自利，这是上述的解释了。那现在是讲到他利者，所以利益他者为出发行即修利益有性和无性两种的有情。那现在在解释利益五种性中的这个众生呢，是如何去利益呢？利益无量众生者，为暂救恶趣，是从恶趣当中而获得救护，使善法未生不生，生以使恶法呢，未生不生，生以令断。那安乐无量的众生，让一切的众生呢，能够安乐于善趣，使所有的善法呢，未生令生，生以令长。这个呢是属于对于无性有情的这个利益的方式。那因为在这个菩萨戒品里面又有说到一个安乐无量众生哀悯世间嘛，所以宗大师在此又针对哀悯世间这4个字呢来去做解释了。哀悯世间者，为五种性诸众生中，于真圣教及无善根，并虽是法器，然以颠倒堕落，而去呢往诸恶趣，犹如旅客者，不舍利益安乐意乐，待可度时。那现在是针对于下面的诸天人等令得利益安乐故的这个解释了。解释利益有种性中，诸天人等令得益利者，为利有种性者，入沙门道。那在此沙门道不是一般单纯的沙门道，就是入圣道的意思了。令得利益者，为令住资粮道及加行道，以能行诸沙门道。那于是呢，就念完到第10页的第1行。
大家呢，报道那把呢，强势的那边是报道那个对不？判到把呢，如果的这边呢，什么样的判定起那把我是，到底什么叫他们叫的判把的单位起来，鸟人那边，什么叫他们叫的判到我应把日本敲我是，强势起的那些多，到底什么这个？如果的这边呢，是不是？那他们就是说什么点呢？东北人些说了，大家的我们清楚了老百姓就啥呢？什么点呢？说这个，达到老百姓了，老新百个呢？什么样的呀？他这个判不主要这个。那杀伤中全部到哪个程度大玩意？什么叫报道没玩意？那么也是宣扬小山送的啊，在这里，什么点位你们听呢？上把太外让给绿龙珠改造的这个什么叫贪的，或者什么叫太大的，同困难的密切，那边就是啥呢？如果啥的，如果这吧，除非这吧。除非这把什么啥的，所以呢，那的，但他们拿不了老板，拿不了主管高层，拿不了主管，拿不了老板高层，这部分都前面推的，但如果等这部就等这边那个更多，什么叫他们讲了 팬드 머식 다 중요지. 이들산에 팬도 와서 송이 말해. 저보다 팬윤처와니 장승기 겁는 조배 정주 저부 진배 저부처와다. 심지반의 현주치 양다 조배 정주 더 송의 현기团도 정주 라미 조장게 정주 다 원도 장되게 더바도 충전도 예배 로지바 이르자네 장심기 겁나 조배 정주 저부 진배스 다 먼저 태고 첨보 사게 첨보 장주야 돼 상바 자쳐와다 지금 미국 자쳐와다 저부 자쳐와다 저는 먹고 싶은 것도 봐 그다음에 되겠다 저부 자쳐와 녀몽상 방배 자주면 거봐 대상 모임 봐 교육에서 연대 근데 남기 제외 거봐 돈이냐 이르자네 저부 쳐와다 산제배 금 다시 남로 러베 내고래 저부 들으실려다 믹셔 연구해 봐 이르자네 대왕의 상바 자쳐와 저기야래 아 상계백급는 현은 저부 진배 편셔오스 랑의 정주공도 제야 대양 치도 자와 현둔 중공도 잡아 인도산에 정주 토스인배 제라 현둔 멋이 줘야지 이모 인도산에 말이 현남 가사 남신 이제 나리야 현둔이 현주지 양대이라 소야는 시체니 현심제 탐자양 민의변 양대가 살은 근도기로 건조를 타지도 좀 봐. 지금 나가 마사가 봐라. 아니 그 현주주야 이번 인도산에 현은 저부 집에 편셔오. 리수샤. 다 년도 남기 러버 숨 토마는 개와서 인라스. 다디 먼저 년도 남기니 러버 숨기 수중을 러버도 토마는 개와. 띵은지 러버도 파도 개와. 시력을 러버도 타마는 개와레스. 저자가 수중을 러버 짠짠데 통다 파수도 개와. 미샤가 소식 먼저 장심기니 수준 멋이라야 삼대인데 삼대지 러버도 싫어져 러버 따지면데 수준 러버 멋이라야 대다 예배스 쳐도자와 현둔도 남긴 돈이 그 삼배 제주습에 수준랑아 이르잖아요 수준 대가에 아니 가서 우리 그게 멋이 수준 멋이라야 대다 예배스 당불 심 기도네 랑션의 판바 개셰당 제반에 토마르 개와다. 심전 남게테르베 심전 남지 개회사는 건도기 삼바티 탐제니 아니 저주선배 동발라는 연구여바 인도산에 토마르 개와에 러버 코를 산대요레스. 심전의 판 동반이 바도 개와. 심전랑네 친루기 제바다. 도시 제바 진짜团에 현둔 버시를 전대바 인도산 되길러반듯이 너는 가서 우리베 지스 나간다 봐도 로 지스 내주고 지스 안 내주는 저동의 싸워서 송 인도산에 심전의 판도반에 바도 개와다. 저보다 펜션에 담을 개와오. 그렇죠.
我们现在看第10页
Next stanza 3 page 103 Immeasurable. Bodhisattva bases of training are comprehended by the term immeasurable. First, favorable and benefiting. At the time of the implementation and at the time of the result, they are lived for the benefit and pleasure of sentient beings. His Holiness's commentary. The Bodhisattvas, the very moment of their having generated this mind of enlightenment, bodhicitta, they simply focus, they simply aim to offer benefit to the sentient beings. But their body, all their resources, and all their virtues, they simply dedicate these for the welfare, for the benefit of all mother sentient beings. And the text continues. A great result and advantage. The great result in one's situation as a bodhisattva is to acquire full awakening. The great advantage for the situation of Buddhahood is to give that result to others. For the Shravakas the three trainings, ethics, concentration, and wisdom, represent wholesomeness at the beginning, the middle, and the end. So here, His Holiness commentary, the beginning referring to the training in ethics, and the middle referring to the training in concentration, and the end referring to the training in wisdom. In the case of the Shravakas, these three these three cannot happen at one in a single instant of time. So it is because of these that these three trainings are referred to with different temporal sequence. And whereas for the bodhisattvas, the text continues, for the bodhisattvas, ethics by itself includes them all. So the first training, the training in ethics, itself includes the beginning stage, middle stage, and the end. His own commentary. For the bodhisattvas, since they are motivated by the desire to achieve enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings, so while the bodhisattva is engaged in the training of ethics, his ways of thinking is so encompassing, is so comprehensive. So it is referred to as the Maha, or the great, from the point of view of the thinking, from the point of view of the objective, and from the point of view of the result. So say, from the point of view of the thinking, since that right from the beginning, the bodhisattva is motivated to achieve full enlightenment and to lead all sentient beings to the state of the non-abiding nirvana, or the enlightenment. Their thinking becomes Maha, or the great. And in terms of the objectivity, in terms of the object, they think about all the sentient beings, and in terms of the result, they wish to achieve full enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings. The text continues, from the time of the first generation of the thought, there is benefit for self and others, together with the detailed explanation as below. This is wholesomeness at the beginning. Favorable or beneficial to sentient beings is wholesomeness in the middle. A great result and advantage is wholesomeness at the end.
김배 랑야가 시주선배 수림 찍다 러중거 랑야가 시주선배 수림 찍게 매버체 저주선배 담배 수림디 땡 아니 김바도 러중이가로 투몽 저거 요리 사들이 이제 땡려야 낭시 니수 다 되네 태양 로숨래 녀송당 하이 로와나 예배 춘이지 터바니 김배 다지 현루르샤 태양 로숨래 녀송도 하이 로와나 예배 춘이지 터바니 김배 수준 당미 로와나 예바니 이게 수준 소시 진의 수제 샤징스 다 자가근 잡아 커시기 송요라도 와 서무저 맹게 체세는 잡아 레니 녀송도 송검나 8월에 내가 매배 춘이지 터바 열라 되니 김배 수준소 내발하다 밀라니 춘이지 터바다 8월에 내가 네가 여대 대실 대라 김바더를 주고 저 네가 여도 장선지 여도 세다 룩면저 거네 장선지 동바 시표장 매동에 강도 제제 춘이지 터베 어래 수능 여버 채도 세 다디 시루 거버체 다 달라 아니 정루 샤바디 지리 장습기 도바 시표장 제송장에 저 송거는 여바 탈라스 장주세베 도바르르자네 지시 초유 파도스 민네 도바랑 모임바 지시 상마제가 파도 지시 지시 전주 님부 파도 살랑바 인도산에 껴와 제네 치네 도바디 대대요래 도바 냠야게 견데 마체나 도바 대대요래 다 소다가 동바디 지수소유 파도 생에 세지공도 제거래 저들이 이마 인도 장성기 동바 시표장 제송단에 로송반의 여바 탈라스 김바더 저주고 저 니순 제바니 기술로 써버 저주 땡에 도바던 담바던 메덴베 장성기 원도 제바 이노 나 제송샤
现在我们看
page 103 from where we left, the detailed explanation with completeness. 3 parts. explanations of the ethics to be undertaken, how to take it and how to keep it, explanation of the ethics to be undertaken, 4 parts, the divisions, the essential nature, the causes for success, and the summary meaning. The divisions, what is the ethics of the Bodhisattvas? His Holiness commentary. In terms of the Bodhisattva's vow or the ethics, there is no difference between the ethics given to a layperson or a monastic. However, there is a difference in terms of the basis, the person who is receiving the Bodhisattva ethics, because the person can be a layperson and a monastic. So it is only the difference in the person receiving the ethics and not the Bodhisattva vows or the ethics. The text continues. There are 2 parts to this, classification of the bases. There are numerous subsets of the bases upon which to undertake ethics, but only 2 summary classes. The part of lay bodhisattvas and that of monastic bodhisattvas. Ethics having both of these as its basis is termed complete ethics, because there is ethics to be trained in any way by all bodhisattva bases, whether lay or monastic. His Holiness commentary. Now, Jeremy is citing some of the standpoints of other scholars. The text reads, 104. Beyond this, Jinaputra explains that lay ethics is found in all 3 destinies of rebirth. In lower and divine states, it is obtained in the nature of things, while only in the world of humanity are both sorts of ethics, lay and monastic, to be found. The commentary attributed to Samudra Megha would have it that there is a natural obtainment in the lower states and in the realm of form, where it is impossible to receive it from someone else, and that this represents lay ethics among the gods of the realm of sense desire, and among human beings, both are found natural obtainment and reception from someone else. Therefore, these realms have both the lay and monastic sides. The Bodhisattva vow is not relinquished even upon changing lives. So wherever one is reborn, there is a natural obtainment of Bodhisattva ethics. His own commentary. The Bodhisattva vow is something you take, not simply confined to this life. Rather, you say, until I achieve enlightenment. As such, even after the ending of this life, the Bodhisattva vow continues to the next life. Whereas the Pratimoksha vow is something that you take only within the framework of this life. Then the text continues. So this is the position of this is the actual position. In general, it is tenable to suppose that the Bodhisattva vow follows you even when you change lives, and so is found in all 3 worlds. At the same time, lay side versus monastic side refers to whether or not a Bodhisattva possesses a vow of one of the 5 monastic classes, novice and the rest.
가서 예주 돈바탕 개외추 두번이 연라 다 정주민 버셔야 돼. 신주민 버셔봐라 심전 전시기 수중급의 송동 예소 시샤나 렉소스 자다 정주 민버셔야래 토만 예주 돈바디 고도가 예주 돈바 매나 개외추 기야라 그 발셔 제일 물어봐. 그 개지 제일 물어봐. 근데 인도 토만 예주 돈바고 야래. 다 예주 돈배 타라 아니 예주 돈바 상게 그 도세네 가서래. 소보르 지대대베 지가 말해. 아니 규권의 고도 빼고 야래. 근데 이마 인도선에 개와추도 수준 디슈고되게 하지. 가나 예주 돈배 수준 개지 뽕어체. 개와추도 수준 되게 다 튕긴 좀 규권의 고도 빼야 돼. 야나 예주 돈배 수준도 정승 그 소치. 남자가 뒤에서 되게 상제의 처리 가다 유몽라 유몽 방배다 유몽을 가다 유몽도 제대로 처리 유몽도 제대로 서울배다 가다 유몽도 특별지기 처리하되어 알았어. 그래서나 기부 충분 처리 아니 예주 도매야지 니 유몽배 왕게 중에 류마게 잡아 예봐. 그래서 류마게 다 예주 도매야지 뭐 당고치 정승고 쳐치 디펜스 쳐치 다 전에日本니버디 애니 뇨모 뽕야 라버스 뭐냐면 돈은 뇨모 뽕야 되잖니 오펜시브 다봐 파그치 하지 뇨모리야 다 전에日本 숨버들라 뇨모 대 샤괴 파자 쌍모서야 되지日本 숨소리도 와 사실이 어다 내듯이 이셔야 되게 말해. 어떤 되게 안다 토마 뇽몽베 니슈 텐데 아주 동야세. 대내 진백이 규 공내 공도 아다베나 가사 도숨 뇽몽 싸울 쇼스 대하게 냐는 뇽몽 매버 소소 공래야 뇽몽 그 왕게 턴베 니슈디디 동고로 봐. 나도 니슈도 그랬어 좀. 대내 뇽몽 뽕야 더도 뇽몽 샤고 파자 뽕야 이게 겨치류 수준시. 근데 랑기 주 그제 지금 냠용여버 뒤쪽에 시안의 펜도 줘야 돼. 심지 된지 수준시.
接下来我们看第12页。
这是수준 숨기 그림 제대로 내시나 년도도 투모 뻔해 수준이 치면이기 교도 투모 모임바 주베 수준이 어래 년도도 투모 뻔해 수준이 룡하게 내셔도배 년도도 투모 원이 돼봐 너는 미기 주분 그 수준 니 치면이기 투모 모임바 주베 말해 년도도 투모와 뻔해 수준이 치면이기 교당 이 시야시고요서래 투모 모임바 주베 수준이 다 맞춰에 현저월 미리 다 마시에 현시월 민주시 송배 겨와 뒤버 당불 마셔나 심지기 변시월 민주에 림바 네버 소문지 메게 제 서베 레버 셔버다 타도스
我们现在看第12页。
His Holiness's commentary. Okay, first let's read through the text. Classification of the essential nature. Furthermore, ethics based upon the two sides is briefly threefold: the ethics of the vow, or of collecting virtues, and of benefiting sentient beings. Because the complete ethics to be kept by Bodhisattva is comprised by this set of three. Why is ethics made threefold? The commentaries would have it that in the vehicle of the Shravakas, there is a defilement blunting, or the defilement blunting pradimoksha, that never arising even when conditions are present, while vow of meditation and the interruption vow of being free from outflows, and that the numbers were here correspond. His Holiness commentary. So here there stated the three ethics: the ethics of the vow, or the ethics of refraining from the non-virtuous actions; second, ethics of collecting the wholesome factors, or the virtues; and third, the ethics of benefiting sentient beings. The first one, which is the ethics of the vow. So it is like guarding oneself from the obstacles or hindrance. So whether to ripen one's own mental qualities or that of the others, the first thing one need to have is try to refrain from all negative actions, refrain from negativities. So that constitutes the first ethics, the ethics of vow. And then the second one, after having been successful in refraining from the negativities, in the first ethics, the ethics of vow, then you are to look for conducive factors to accumulate more merit. What I usually say is that the Buddha's teaching is nothing but to combat afflictions, and in terms of the Buddha's teachings, it can be classified into three: the teaching for the lower scope person, for the middle scope person, and for the great scope person. So here, the first step, the teaching for the lower scope person, that is meant as a defensive measure to defend yourself from all the physical and verbal actions. Physical and verbal actions which are given rise to by the mental afflictions. So this is a defensive measure. And whereas in the second, and whereas His Holiness is wondering as to how is the particular line translated into Chinese. The line which says that engaging in the unshared vow. And then in the second teaching, the teaching for the middle scope person, so there is more of an offensive or a combating combating or the encountering, confronting with the actual afflictive emotions. And then finally, the teaching of the grace-go person that is meant to eliminate even those subtle imprints left by the afflictions. As such, when it says that may the three poisonous afflictions be removed. So here, in order to remove the afflictions, first we need to remove the the results of these afflictive emotions, results in the form of the physical and verbal actions. So only then we can remove the afflictive emotions. So first, guarding the physical and verbal actions forms the first ethics, the ethics of the vow. And then after that, we can look for means to accumulate the virtues as a conducive enriching oneself in the virtuous actions. And third, then you can engage in benefiting others. So that forms the third ethics, the ethics of benefiting sentient beings. The text continues. Why is the ethics made threefold? The commentaries would have it that in the vehicle of the Shravakas, there is a the last paragraph of page 104. But the needs of a bodhisattva are only two: to bring his own mental continuum to maturity, and to bring to maturity or the continuums of others. The first being necessarily twofold: the limitation of misbehavior and the collection of good behavior is a matter of first the vow, and the second the collection of the virtues, and the maturation of others requires the third, the ethics of accomplishing the welfare of sentient beings. So there are necessarily three. This explanation is the correct one. How is the order of the three aspects of ethics determined to be thus? As the commentary attributed to Samudramega quite tenably puts it, the ethics of withdrawal, which is held in common with the Shravakas, is the cause of the latter two, and the ethics of engagement is not shared. The order of the latter two is determined from the teaching that it is impossible to save others when you are still bound, and to calm others when you are not calm. Therefore, the welfare of others will not be affected until wholesomeness has first been collected.
故善决定，若作此说，则为善哉。这样的解释呢，才是最殊胜的。那于是呢，就引经据论的就说到了：如传为云海是云，共诸声闻能断境界为后二因，不共界中，若自未度而欲度他，不应正理。如果自己没有先调伏烦恼的话，去调伏别人的烦恼，这是不可能的。所以自己的部分要先解决，于是呢，要先行这二戒。所以这三戒的次第呢，是决定的。经说自谓极尽不能尽他，故谓先修摄善法戒，不能利他，故次定决定，此说因理。
大家呢人性的苏嘞，东北村里呢说到有东北，日苏不个啥，说到有东北日东北的太阳，给龙爬马等，给老马的给水爬面村里面呢肉中个桥等，给人爬面村里面呢清白桥一弄，说到日节越讲。年年没送过呢，到把你随便干这里，你下几个养到我让我你搞我这吧等，对吧？那边不没人被吃汤，有人不接受嘛这边吃，对了，要不没人被马占多先生啊打扰。当然，线路什么的没给钱是问这吧的，年年了鸟人那边给你些事情，他给你都对呗，马占被咸阳当，给老买懂吧？给老买。东北给龙门东北的对吧？你太不没那个，他的呢开的他车去，开的强势就东北村里面日蹲来先约的没，原来强势日蹲来先没送过的给了，他强势就东北村里面日蹲来先没呢，他强势你就东北村里面呀，说到个日蹲个东北的嘛到没吧人呢？说到西北边当然是，强势就当的西北边了，你就当边出去买不了就行。他一点就成就300，他一点说到个当边点都没用啊， 제 하이 땡기 장주 선배 수준 숨了 로버 캐렘베 장성기 도바 랑도 미루고 요로 샤나스 타바거네 데르 장성기 dom데 럽주이나 소다 링아 컨루 dom베 수주미라 다 미텐제 소다게다 땡도 롱아 딘데도 지 소다가 dom바다 데바지 메이나 디규 장주서베 dom바 랑네 랑펜제네 디규 소다 링아 컨루 디 장주서베 니주다베 수주미라스 장성기 dom데 개념 파마데비 침바이나 소다 리니 컨루 dom베 수주무스 하다고 소다지 때도 미르베 장성기 dom데 얘나 다 소다가 dom바데 요 말에디 미게워 주방왕 함 류마게 미게워 düün방에 방왕 düün 더부 러시지 하나 마도 방왕 소다 리듬도 투모원남 dom베 수주미 인지 소소타베 dom방의 민호 대개 그냥 남들게 데발에 달라 dom베 수주님이 제베 하나 마토와 송에 소소타베 리든지 dom바당 러시지 하나 마토와 송와 미게워 주송와 시 송베 다디 카니 송도와 dombe 제주 선배 니주도베 수준 가렸으려나 럽중이너니 제베 하나 마토에 제베 하나 마토 오수 수소타버 리든지 도바당스 다 데리고 소다가 dom데 멤버지다 야나 소다가 땡도 미루어 데리기 규리이나 러시지 하나 마토 송어 미고 주송어 시 송베 당군도 소다는 얘나 신문이 소다 리준도 투모와서 임베치다 공개来讲 달라 dombe 수준을 강인 버전은 도고 수준 경우 대양 보안 넘버 등지스니 전되면 대상에 받아 시간에 받아 양도 다와는데 최순니 대군을 놓을 제바 오스 셰바 당 군을 놓아라 제바의 제베 수준 용어도 전에 겨주 레기 람남선 요로스 셴뉴 시던 제바스 군론도 제바스다 군론 napsum nesum lokta jisubudi kunulu shani oda soda ge pon number dundang any chesum sida ji jayin zane migi chu chazalo re songsha chesum bo daro doba ni shube kandile je changsa lo soda ri dun doba chudun so songba da shebe go so so tabe doba ni shu sebe doba yana do jo yin de cha ji ni do je go shao 대신 수소다베 도바 샤나 데바 대신 선배 도바 양다 와라레베도 지발라 레베 지금 디야 지바 자셰제베도 노절로 소아제바로 소발레베 도베 초가 샴바니니 마이노 마인신 대남레 장 도바 마인바라 네베 주선배 도바 양다 와레베도 지바 양 이바 마이노시 소슈 소알레 동데 매바니 창성기 도바 제베 느도 메로라 대다레 도베 취양 소다도 투모와라 고네 소다 리든 창성기 dombe 차지도 창서 송보를 셔도 창성기 dom데로 원은 정원도 송수에서 룡하게 둔나에 그것이 다 독주지야 독주지 창성기 dom데로 원은 정원도 송수에서 룡하게 둔나에 그것이 장 소수에 보서 소다 투모와 마인베 게메데 페나 창마도베 샤바 장반남 내바나 나야 지르 결론게 dom데 나머지메 텔레 도 그바다 결론게 도 발람바 나야 야랑 내가 매버로 탐셔야 뽕어는 되베 내가 가제 시스템다디 뽕어는 되베 랑거바 신데 룡하게 든 믹스에 그바마도 버도 소다르시도 소라 보제 미주고 송베 체로 되나 남들도 소소타버 리든지 다도 담셔 되마도 주선베 또 바이 겨와 유지신도 면에 시 송바양来到我버도 소다리도 컨로면은 수준미게 또 바 체버제게 겨와 매바 겨와 매라 소다 리든도 투모와 정신 뽕하면은 소다 리든도 투모와 정신이 하나 맞도에 네바는 뽕하면은 창수지 dom바성에 개와 매시 dom바인 소다 리든 천이버지면은 창수지 dom바 미적으로 셔버 민들람전 제발 숑데 삼조로 dom바다는 수준이 dom베 땡제 땡 캐버라지면 dom바전에 셰바 당 숑데 로버 수주서면 dom바 dom바 대된 되버 인버송의 제로 송의 제로
现在我们看第14页。
Page 105, stanza 2, the essential nature, 3 points, the ethics of the vow. This refers to the 7 pradimoksha classes, namely male and female bhikshu, non-probationer, and male and female novice as the monastic party, plus male and female layperson as the householder party. There are in fact 8 pratimoksha classes, but the upavasa is not mentioned four, as the explication by Bodhibhatra to the 20 verses states, to undertake something for a single day is not an austerity, nor does it represent living in seclusion from sense desire. It is not adhered to for an extended period. For these reasons, it is not worthy of being counted here. In the commentary attributed to Samudramega, they are called laypersons who dwell closely to Upavasa, and they are not mentioned because they are included among the set of laypersons. Alternatively, it says the non-probational vow is included in the nun's vow. This does not appear to be tenable. Objection: is there or is there not anything in Bodhisattva ethics besides the 7 classes? If there is, it contradicts the non-formulation by the Bodhisattva Bhumi of anything besides the 7 classes. If there is not, then since the pratimoksha is relinquished upon changing lives, the holder of the Bodhisattva vow would lose his ethics of the vow when he changes lives. Furthermore, the Bodhisattva based as a divine realm, as a divine being, would find it impossible to take the Bodhisattva vow. His own commentary, because in the divine realm there is no bestowal of the pratimoksha vow. Find it impossible to take the Bodhisattva vow, promising to train himself in all 3 sorts of ethics. Response: if the holder of the Bodhisattva vow is a monastic, his or her ethics of the vow is that of one of the 5 pratimoksha classes. Whereas if the Bodhisattva vow holder is a householder, such as male or female lay person, he or she holds the ethics of the vow as one of the 2 lay pratimoksha classes. If someone such as a god or deva, whose state makes him an unsuitable basis for the pratimoksha, should hold a Bodhisattva vow, he in effect renounces the 10 unwholesome or the 7 of the body and speech, rejecting what is reprehensible by nature as do the 7 pratimoksha classes. He has the ethics of the vow, but without having actually taken the pratimoksha vow. So the Lamp of the Path also says, in regard to these ethics of the vow, is the vow held by the 7 pratimoksha classes to guard against what is reprehensible by precept. His Holiness's commentary. Here, the Bodhisattvas are the first ethics of the Bodhisattva, which is the ethics of the vow, constitutes 2 in relation to the monastics and the lay persons. In relation to the monastics, it corresponds to the 7 pratimoksha classes, and for the lay persons, it corresponds to the observing the 10 virtuous actions. The text continues. The former is the real pratimoksha, whereas the latter is only what the 7 pratimoksha classes have in common. Again, the Muni Madalamkara says, in regard to these, ethics of the vow is an ethics of withdrawal. Furthermore, the abstinences are defined as being of the 7 souls, and freedom from desire, freedom from aversion, and right view are the 3 factors that function as the motivation. And it goes on to say, ethics together with motivation makes 10 virtuous courses of action. The application of the 20 verses says, in context of explaining the Bodhisattva Bhumi statement, that ethics of the vow refers to the 7 pratimoksha classes. The pratimoksha function as a branch of the Bodhisattva vow. It should be understood to be an integral part of it. Therefore, someone who holds the pratimoksha vow is a vessel fit to receive the Bodhisattva vow. And the point of this statement is to give him this message as a sage of the message of training. There is no separate ceremony for disengagement from murder and the rest. Without having already disengaged from them, you are not a vessel fit to receive the Bodhisattva vow. Without a desire to disengage yourself from murder and the rest, it is impossible to be a vessel for creation of the Bodhisattva vow. The way to disengage yourself from them is found in the statement of the Bodhisattva Bhumi, that the 7 pratimoksha classes considered to be shared with the pratimoksha vow are a part of the Bodhisattva vow. For the Bodhisattva vow holder, as will appear below, occasions may arise on which the 7 of the body and speech, murder, and the rest are permissible. Yet there is not the problem failing to share the pratimoksha disengagement from murder and the rest. By analogy, individual enactments of the monastic discipline, except for liquor, are permitted a monk who is ill. But in general, they must be avoided by a holder of the monk's vow. And when taking the monk's vow, one must take it with the desire to avoid them all without restriction as to which branch of the code it may be. So it is taught that aside from an exceptional situation, you must keep from engaging in the seven of body and speech, as in the Pradimoksha, even at the cost of your life. Hence the Lamb of the Path declares, only someone continually holding the other vow, belonging to one of the seven Pradimoksha classes, has the opportunity to take the Bodhisattva vow, and there is no other way it can be. For the beginner, who is not a member of one of the seven Pradimoksha classes, there is no opportunity to create the special vow of ethics. If he also lacks the natural disengagement that is shared with the seven Pradimoksha classes, he has no opportunity to create the Bodhisattva vow by itself. This is what the teacher says. Nevertheless, this is not a claim that a Bodhisattva vow will not be created when one lacks some particular characteristic of the seven Pradimoksha classes, because the commentary to the Lamb of the Path says this only in making the transition from chapter 2 on Pradimoksha to chapter 3 on Bodhisattva vow. The transition goes, now desiring to indicate the special basis for the vow of ethics, making the statement in summarizing the previously cited commentary by Bodhibhadra. Two systems arose in past times in regard to this topic. It is a basis party which postulates that the Pradimoksha is in this way a necessary basis for creating and for maintaining the Bodhisattva vow. And two, it is not a basis party which postulates that to hold the Pradimoksha, because it belongs by definition to the Shravakas, is an obstacle to the Bodhisattva vow. It is the basis party I use. The phrase Pradimoksha of the Bodhisattva indicates that both vehicles, the greater and the lesser, each has a set of seven Pradimoksha classes, and that as the general rule of the seven Pradimoksha classes are necessary as a base upon which to disengage oneself from harming others. His Holiness commentary. Even for a lay person to receive a bodhisattva vow, it is always better to receive to receive at least the layperson pratimoksha vow and receive the bodhisattva vow. So if one does that, this would be more beneficial.
菩萨戒一定要依据七众的这个别解脱戒才有办法升起了，他最主要的主张是如此。于是宗大师在此就做破斥，所以我们现在翻第16页的第2大段，此不应理如果你认为说菩萨戒一定要依据的七众别解脱戒的这个基础上，
the text continues.
这是不符合逻辑的。为什么呢？
Let's read from 108, number 9. Furthermore, line number 9. Furthermore, the pratimoksha of the two vehicles are distinguished. In fact, they are opposite in their continuation. The protection of others' thoughts, the possibility of being corrected, and the eagerness for others' welfare, because it cannot be general and free from particulars. The lesser vehicle pratimoksha is a contradiction as a basis for bodhisattva vow, whereas the greater vehicle pratimoksha, because it is itself the bodhisattva training, cannot have the fault of contradicting itself as a basis. As the Ratnameka states, pratimoksha restrictions and bodhisattva trainings are distinct. The seven greater vehicle classes function like those of the monastic discipline in their reception, preservation, and so forth. This is incorrect. If the seventh class pratimoksha were necessary as a basis for creation of the bodhisattva vow, it would be impossible for gods or the divine beings to create it. If it were necessary for maintaining it, and if it continued unrelinquished upon changing lives, it would be possible to have divine beings and animals, were monks and the like. That the pratimoksha is not necessary as a basis for creation of the bodhisattva vow appears even in the Munimata Lamkara. Some say that only those who maintain some pratimoksha vow among the seven lifelong pratimoksha vows, divided as laymen, laywomen, male and female novice, non-probationer, monk and nun, should receive the Bodhisattva vow. Others should not, because the Bodhisattva vow will not be created in anyone else. To say this is to not take great pains for the sake of the greater vehicle. If the Bodhisattva vow were not to be created in the absence of the Pratimoksha vow, then the latter would be described in the Bodhisattva collection and its associated texts as its sources. The purpose in mentioning Pratimoksha in context of Bodhisattva vow, as does the Bodhisattva Bhumi mention Bhumi, is to speak definitively. By analogy, one says, I take refuge in the three until awakening has been achieved. Hence, in the Bodhisattva Bhumi, mention is made of the 7 Pratimoksha classes in context of identifying ethics of the vow. The mention may be understood in 2 ways, as referring to the actual seven Pratimoksha classes, and as referring to disengagement from what is reprehensible by nature, a disengagement which those 7 Pratimoksha classes share with the Bodhisattva vow. Mentioning them does not imply that a Bodhisattva vow is to be held only by members of those 7 classes. Ethics of the vow, which is shared with the Pratimoksha, eliminates what is reprehensible by nature. Since it is created jointly with the taking of the Bodhisattva vow, there is no computable meaning in designating it and the Bodhisattva vow as basis and what is supported. The fact is that even if you have not already received the Pratimoksha as an actual member of the 7 Pratimoksha classes, the Bodhisattva vow can be created. However, if you are a suitable basis for Pratimoksha, that is a human being, you should take the Pratimoksha in some form, be it a lay or monastic, beforehand. Otherwise, you will transgress the order of the jina's teaching. By analogy, you may take the monk's vow without having taken the novice vow, and it will be created, but it is wrong in practice. Some of the it is not a basis party argue.
不婴儿，那这样的话次序有点颠倒，所以我们先受别解脱戒，再受出家，再受这个菩萨戒的话呢，这样的次序呢是比较圆满的，比较殊胜的。
때문에 뭐 커지고 나래. 랑도지 삼바 말로나 장수지 동바 미지 칠 소다가 동바데 장승구 동바 깨야 개그레스. 깨왜 개기나 장승지 동된 기 랑도지 삼바 깨나 동바데 냠버 교회 칠 내외 개소 셰사와니 소다지 동바다 택매지 삼바니 캐브라 마체베 트버데스 봉두 코르제 수림 랑도그 사바 권을 낸 거야. 저밖에 안 말보다. 지담에 소다가 주름이 랑도그 사베 타네. 랑비야리. 소다가 dombal라야리. 메미루그 사바디 랑니 코알레 타나 사베 인주그 사바디 미테메도 이바레. 레디 소다가 dom바디 랑도 사바 마도 셴드 상매지 소다가 dom발라나. 아니 가수래. 먼저 비차체. 소다가 dom바디 인지 미지 랑도그 사바 코나도 되고야지 차기 말봐. 소다지 dom바다 택매지 삼바니 캐브라 마치베 추버디 대다라 장승지 dom바께와라 택매지 삼바땅 거장 소다땅 미글라 택신지 dom된 기 택매지 삼바께나 택신레 냠장 소다 미동대 소다 미동대 소다네 택번이기 투모와 임베 제당 삼바데 소다지 똥줄 미리베 제당 샹두 사바 땅야 되면로 사바티 소다지 동줄 미리베 치당 소다지 dom된 기 dom바 고물 내나 렘바니 표송섭에 된도 주베 체로 대단하 dom바 고물 내베 오만 더 제바니 개회 때문에 싸워 줘버 제바 기구 편디 로도게 싸워 첨부 중공하게 내 때네 막고 로버도바 임비 장르도 더 자오 데데벨 로버도 본중원 도베 제가 하고 또 무슨 말에 대시게 도데로 소다바던 거 템버라 자오 유승 강다 소소 다르바던 메제 뭐라 자오라서 바다다네 사제지 또 바던 메제 바던 메제 뭐라 자와서 뭐 강다 사제지 또 바던 메제 바던 메제 바던 사제지 미제보다 메제 뭐라 자와서 뭐 강다 사제지 또 바던 메제 바던 메제 뭐라 자오라서 바다다네 대바던 마저보다 더 사제 좀 되는 남지 장주당 메제 뭐라 자오라서 뭐 제나버라 메베네 동송제 동주의대에 거기에 세면제 메신예 버스제니에 동면 동에서 소녀 소와다 뭐대 자야자냐 원면도 동 자도 동당 자도 저 자도나
장당 저다 장와다 배당 주로양 묘도 동해당 예미대원 디더보 디다 용소 빠와라데 배경어데다 저바 디더보다 빠세 동해 정어 링도 용소 빠와라자 되면 대배자 영 용소 빠와잖아 식대도 년에 누구 말이 소이 버린 대배자 용소 빠와라자 나와 따와다 녀바 따지 매대다 용소 빠와라자 셰바당 봉상기 시베 규례장 지도 로라서 사람님의 때님의 좀 해보내 저와들어 드시는 저거라 주문이지 실례배네 나버라지면 저와 내서 수다바이면 수리면 나와도 누가 버려 봐가 봐지면 따라 저가방 데이터가 수림세도 소다가 수림을 숨고 있어요 치고 맞아도 제윤데 지도 로도 다르게 살아는 때네 좀 해봐네 저와들 대신 소다가 수림돼 라 때네 최가를 쳐 답변은 삼대도 싫어도 닝지 출연의 연도 대받침을 다 남차이 물어봐 닝지 출 닝지 싸워지고 자주고 섬지 생연도 택생을 나오는 차를 알고 닝지 출연 배는 남버게 야왕에서 소소 타바이 출연 남다 누워 멀르라 나과 침배 따도 초가방스 한번은 양소 나와 차스 나과 죄 소다기 따도 초가 지 소중 소야 서로 되주제다 지금 중국 물미기 다철로 저저每个 마도 신 소다가 럽지도 저저 럽고를 소이 뭐 시송 소모 전저 중 그게 다당 레디베 초가당 투모인베 자바나 마도가 두원의 셰베 랑도 나방가 와지메 제모 냐고 랑고 소나 방가 바로 중 나와 주셔서 동대 집에 다시면 로버도 타젠디 가지대 어르셔와는 저거 누구 켜봐서 본자는 실은 미래 장은 난데 두면 가되면 제가 너무 수르면 나가 동바다가 등지 맹개와를 받아버려도 중대네 더버려도 중대네면 가다 바로 신나는 신에 대한 모서 집에 누워 있는 데는 이러고 dom네봐 소소 다다 로지네 대셰바에 더버는 패션을 소원만 되게 저서 받아는 겨워니도 용서네 다들 대땅 넘버네 셔도 로중도 받아내면 가지 동방 제소지 동방양네 송매자 셔다 로데 잡으라 파고야 개모저 조사만에 타라와 개배던 저도 면도양금서 제소지 잡으라 송도 도지 동방양 콜레지에 제보 침난에 배송도 장조자매 저나네 라바트메야 김반데서도 중심에 냐모도 셔도냐네 잡아 송배 셰 소소 탈베 지당 대난의 럽도 주면 또 만남네 다 럽주가 다 기본적으로 좀 야오 마치베 소다가 또 지당 소다 지당 대난의 장 럽도 주면 또 만남네 태고철은 내봤는지 제대로 숨 거서 숨차
第17页的第
Reading from 109, the second last paragraph. Some of the it is not a basis party, are you? It is an obstruction to the creation of the Bodhisattva vow, because if you fail to avoid the attitude of my own welfare, the Bodhisattva vow will not be created. At the same time, it is an obstruction to its maintenance, because if the Bodhisattva vow holder should generate the attitude of my own welfare, the vow will fail. In his own commentary, these opponents, they believe is that taking Pratimoksha vow is a hindrance to taking a Bodhisattva vow, because the Pratimoksha vow is inferior as compared to the Bodhisattva vow. So, but in actuality, this Pratimoksha vow is not inferior. It is a common vow for those seeking personal liberation as well as those seeking the full enlightenment. The last paragraph. This makes the mistake of failing to distinguish the Pratimoksha vow from the lesser vehicle attitude. In creating the Bodhisattva vow, you must relinquish the lesser vehicle attitude, but you need not relinquish the Pratimoksha vow. If someone holding the greater vehicle vow should generate a lesser vehicle attitude, he will fail in the greater vehicle, but without relinquishing the Pratimoksha. The reasons for this are as follows. 1. The Pratimoksha is shared by both vehicles. 2. That inferior attitude is not, strictly speaking, a cause for relinquishing the Pratimoksha vow. Third, the Pratimoksha vow holder who receives the high vow becomes a basis for the good fortune of achieving Buddhahood. Therefore, to give up the lower vow on the grounds that you are maintaining a higher vow, cutting the root of the jina or the Buddha's dispensation, dispensation is a great hailstorm to the crop of benefit and pleasure for many generations. It is a misconception that entirely misconstrues the quintessence of the higher as well as the lower text, so put it far away. In order to prevent such misconception from arising, the noble teaching on the three vows says, therefore you should comply with the pratimoksha taught here. Kashyapa, beings who fail to comply with the pratimoksha are beings who fail to comply with the powers and confidence of the Buddha. Any beings who fail to comply with the powers and confidence of the Buddha are beings who fail to comply with the awakening of the Buddhas of the past, the future, and the present. The karmic maturation of that does not approach 100th part of the suffering experienced in hell by as many sentient beings as inhabit a universe system of 1,000 million worlds. It does not match 1,000, 100,000th, a million, millionth, or any number, fraction, calculation, example, or comparison. Desiring to avoid such suffering and unhappiness, you should avoid such behavior on the part of monks by 1,000 miles. If the mention of it is to be avoided, what of regarding and heeding it? They should be avoided. And the questioning of Sabhotantra says, all crops depend on the earth to grow, watch the spelling, T-O, to grow without problem. Good white factors depend upon ethics, watered by compassion for their growth. All the pure ethics of the pratimoksha that I, the Jina, have spoken as Vinaya, Jina here referring to Victor, should be taken to heart by lay tantrics, except for the signs and the ceremonies. Here the signs and the ceremonies referring to the monastics, confession ceremony and so forth. What this says is that accepting the monastic signs, ceremonial acts, and unshared precepts, what the disciplinary code teaches that one should accept and reject should be taken to heart even by the lay tantrics. One need to mention monastic tantrics and the holders of the Bodhisattva vow. The great scholar Gyanashri Mitra, crest, jewel of Kashmiri Sugatas, has forbidden such misconceived doubts with several emphatic statements. From his consistency of ethics, vows, and pledges, first basing yourself as a monastic, maintain the paths of Tantra and the perfections. If you later become confused by them, maintain the vow of the Ishvakas, etc. From the treatises of the disciplinary code, the Pratimoksha and the rainy season retreat. When you cannot keep a majority of the trainings taught in it, eliminate those that contradict holding the Bodhisattva vow and carry on. And having rejected the monastic vow, neither the Tantric vow nor that of the perfections will be held. And the most distinguished intellectuals are Bodhisattva monks. Being skilled in means, they do not dream of transgressing in any way. With such statements, he explained the matter in detail. In various scriptures as well, statements are made concerning universal monarchs, great heroes, who, remaining in the home life, have long trained themselves in the Bodhisattva career, who then leave home to go forth in the monastic life, eager for ordination. Therefore, those who maintain the better vehicle must hold the pratimoksha generally and the monastic vows within it to be especially dear.
대양을 돈배수 땜바를 차오 선송대야 다 오도 선송대야 되기 전주선배 니주 돈배 추름 랑네스 대춘제디디 에네 다 대춘제서 어디 편져서 그래 대내 송대 에나 얼령하게 지 겨주셔버디 겨주도 좀 좋아했어 대권을 겨주도 좀 쳐요 말했어 대말에 다 미국 가려서라 미국은 전주선배 칠대스 그봐 남긴 토비하게 제도 심지어 타다 남긴은 거베 제도 랑근 남긴 것도 잔되고 상바 되지기다 남긴 돈은요 이두산에 전주 첨부 칠대 랑규를 산지 추 용수 민버 랑규를 산지 추 용수 민배 왕도 제바오 대나 겨와 두번이 랑규 민배 왕도 제라 심지어 된신이 셴 민버 제바때 캐바네 태오 다지 투제 미고제 다 숨버 생이데 가르슬라나 생이도 랑신이 류당하게 겨와사과때 이 마법반이 겨와되베 수dum기급이니라 수dum장 류마 권내 인베 소신 제바 셴남네 체장 개신의 이기 겨와 두마샤바 당 로변 연대외진 제바 이장 셰베 류마 메베 이 슈로 코르니베 마셰도 셰송과다 렉소스 이게 따데 뭐 수야데 류다 나게 겨와 사과 스도아 따데 류가 뭐수 매베 이장 참바인스 제 류가 로스 깔외 거버 미세게 매버리 이장 참바인스 더번 니슈베 간제 당 람든 제바니 람든 제바니 슝라 이 예베 룩수 채소 대단하 고숨 레레와다 니니다 숨절기 제외 겨워되면 수준 여도 맞아요.
那接下来
112, stanza, paragraph 2. The ethics of collecting wholesome factors, three parts. The brief instruction. The bodhisattva, subsequent to undertaking the ethics of the vow, accumulates for the sake of the great awakening with his body and his speech anything that is wholesome, all of which is called briefly the ethics of collecting wholesome factors. The phrase "having undertaken the ethics of the vow" appears in many texts. His Holiness commentary. Unless one has obtained the ethics of the vow, then the virtues that you are engaged in, they don't turn out to be the ethics of accumulating virtue. So it is only after having obtained the ethics of vow that the other virtues that you embrace become the ethics of accumulating merit or virtue. The text continues. The phrase "having undertaken the ethics of the vow" appears in many texts. There are 3 points to this. Time, subsequent to, is that in order to indicate the creation, maintenance, and the increase of wholesome factors, only in someone who maintains ethics, because, as the scriptures put it, any factors at all that are wholesome are maintaining ethics. The sense is that, having undertaken the bodhisattva vow, you should turn to collecting that which is wholesome. Furthermore, you should base yourself upon the previous ethics of the vow. Objective. For the sake of the great awakening, with reference to bringing to maturity in your own mental continuum the factors of Buddhahood, hence the collection of wholesomeness bears upon the maturation of one's own continuum, whereas accomplishing the welfare of sentient beings brings others to maturity. That is the difference. Third, definition or essential nature accumulates with his body and his speech, but is not mentioned. The other commentaries suggest, because the context is collecting wholesomeness, and this ethics is a matter of body and speech. In the detailed explanation that follows, however, various sources of mental wholesomeness are mentioned, and in the commentary by Master Gunaprabha, it is correctly observed that the mental is not mentioned, because no mention body, because to mention body and speech implies the impact of mind. Explication to the 20 verses and the Lamp of the Path commentary present systems in which mind is present in the text. So, whether we have the ethics of collecting virtue with each of the 3 gateways, body, speech, and mind, with 2 at a time, and with all 3.
念到第19页，就是第19页结束了。
呀，大家呢，结不写完了，结嘞。다 창세 책 태양 강세나 선대라 전주서만이 출름을 땡징 출름을 내내 터바도 사바도 시내도 방동 오바당사 나도만 계셔들이 이말에 개발 셔발을 개래 실업 숨 개발이 전주 삼반이 dombe 출름을 땡징 내내 다 저기 뒤 개발 선인데 지고래서 넘버 영화 매버 솔라 담반 년대特别 싫어 자로스 다 싫어 숨사야 돼 투중기 싫어 숨중기 싫어 kumjung shiro sa disu go yibare da shiro sa kashi bu chane dene inde da thomana chanju sembe chujum da dembe gones nami mebar sula tamba nyende tebe shiro jalo tebe so sagwa le da tebe jashi mo yana ji samlu dongyan namra mongu god mongu thone samlu ji yonde gro bada 단다 찌기 뭐 있나요? 나고 삼동야디 초 멍구의 삼동야. 저들이 뭐 인도산에 퇴배소 싹발래. 쩌바던 덴베 샘소스. 다 도주시야지 물어봐. 쩌바던 덴베 샘소. 대내 다들 섬중체 샘소스야지. 대내 공발은 죽디 신라 공부고. 대양 륜 dun지다 샘 미게에 남다고 엠바다 되베 찍고 가와오. 더버지 슈베 간데도 찍도 가와 신중어 대나 신내니 띵인지게 라바이나 퇴섬기 시럽당 상동의 시럽게 라바디 수줌레 라바니 주보오 송샤
接下来看第20页。
We read at the last line of page 112. The detailed explanation has 8 points. Generating the 3 sources of wisdom. The 3 referring to the wisdom of hearing, reflection, and meditation. The Bodhisattva, based upon and maintaining the ethics of the vow, listens without mental wandering to sacred signs, seeking the wisdom of hearing. From the resources of hearing that he gathers comes deliberative reflection. From that he undertakes meditative cultivation, the development of calm abiding and insight. Furthermore, with physical seclusion from society and mental seclusion from unwholesome preoccupation comes delight in solitude. Delight in solitude is no textual corruption, for it appears in the explication of the 20 verses. Calm abiding refers to training in contemplation. It covers the wisdom of hearing and contemplation. Insight is training in wisdom. Both trainings, concentration, and wisdom are fulfilled in
让自己
ethics.
呢获得定解，光是获得定解是不够的。针对以升起定解的内涵呢，应该反复的去串习修习它。所以呢，让自己升起修所生慧。所以在此又说到了次修止观，转入修慧。于是念完这一大段。
His
Holiness commentary. Here, the more learning you have, the more points there are to reflect upon. So, the wisdom of learning is emphasized in order to have a better wisdom of reflection, and for which in turn can give rise to a better wisdom of meditation.
당 라마당 동해지 싱숨데 당부 팬 도바니 파마체 에 나전에 팬 도바당 나전에 니버니 캔로당 숨버니 네바데 데다 창심 ru도 중모주 니게 손업 제베 시인배나 싱오 아 개미도 왔다 나 라셔무로 연대다가 연대장 나가와내면 서로 만나와라 마와다 구조도 원지만 가봐줘야 레고라 마와 렉소 때려와 당 터바나 소베 연대다 베 가사게 나와줘다 선생 그게 와나라 사바다베 예나 제저도 저바 원대신 예메 연대 소신 네메 예 라와줘다 랑가 저도 바와다 마제야 샤바다 저노도 바다 레고다다 게메저도 저와 저베저 랑가 조나 가와신도 가와자오 사바다바네 파르예 나바자와 더절라 야,这大是这个逻辑项目了，但现在原来是现年依然往就话的，让个超到帮我的马下家下巴的这个是能拖把糖噻，那么这么的，呢，给不起个数据里等着修一不的，给不别的数据不要표시，这么的扩张准备扩大下巴的这个数据표시。 아니 수지 표 주주자네 아니 남기 ng와나야 루수 저사 탤런트 바래 는 것도 와 ng와나야 자 아니 좀 된데 ng와나베 그돌이야 개부 샌디 무슨제 ng와나야 무기 개부 보랑 거라 무기 빵고시 되더래 우부 대봤어야지 빵고디 민두 숨제 ng와나 그래 자 아니 쉬고 산다지 아니 들으면 진다면 개부래 아니 개 ng와는 전에 개부 민무슨제 아니 우부 대배 민소야 돼 가이 나왔으니 주주자는 좀 된다기 디니무디 개별한테 수지표에 수지표를 때문에 계속 치수도 우부도 정도 알아. 그래서는 개별 수지 잡아야 돼. 3년 나도 지된学业도 되다면서. 담년 자로 되는도 저대 찾아면서. 단 그 우부 때가 시 타고네. 제수이랑 쉬우시고 시작이 말이야. 근데 인도 소나고 거 소화도 우부도 축제 정도 한다. 그 기부성도 갖고 로선다고 말아. 그거는 이란제 저는 고토 처음부터 채토
那刚刚就是在行一些善法的时候，就是针对
Reading the text, continuing the third paragraph, gathering resources in a special field, seeing the lamas. he does not slight them. Gladly he addresses them first, saying, "Welcome." In other words, making respectful address, he prostrates himself physically and rising, provides a seat. Rising from his seat, he gets up to show respect. In other words, rising promptly, he salutes them. In other words, joining his palms at least, he does the respectful service of tending them. He sympathetically nurses the illnesses of the sick. There are three fields here, those to be assisted, the lamas and the suffering. First are one's parents, second are one's preceptors and teachers, third are the sick. They are fields because for bodhisattvas, both monastic and non-monastic, they constitute a basis for the creation of merit. Satisfaction or finding joy in good qualities and in their possessors. He gives a well done to the exalted word unerroneously spoken and a well-spoken praise of the three jewels. He speaks praise of persons endowed with qualities of learning and so forth. He appreciates from the bottom of his heart and describes in words the virtues of all sentient beings. Furthermore, knowing that someone is considered by someone else to be a suitable beneficiary of offerings, you come to appreciate him and eliminate your own envy, and although you have not made the offerings yourself, you will obtain merit as though you have. And in order to comply with those good deeds, you take satisfaction in them as you take joy in them as though they were your own. His Holiness commentary. His Holiness wants to relate a story of the Buddha at the time of the Buddha Shakyamuni, where the Buddha was invited by one of the kings for a lunch, along with the Buddha's entourage, consisting of the arahats. And there, after the lunch, the tradition is that the Buddha is to say prayers, say the dedication prayers, by citing the name of the sponsor. And then instead of citing the name of the Buddha, the name of the king, the Buddha cited the name of the beggar who was sitting there in the end. So then the people, they were quite surprised as to why the Buddha didn't mention the name of the king instead of mentioning the name of the beggar. And the Buddha was asked that, and the Buddha replied, "Oh, it is although the king was there who sponsored everything, but his gesture was polluted by a sense of mundane concerns, eight worldly concerns, and whereas the beggar over there in the end, so although he didn't offer anything, but he rejoiced so much in the virtue of the king, so because of which he's the one who accumulated the greatest amount of virtue." And his Holiness is saying that, so this is indeed a very wise way of accumulating merit without having to spend any money, and you accumulate the greatest amount of merit.
차당제와래 세면 소어집에 온보고 소어당 하장 당바당 하장제리베 줄로서 뭐라면에 타니에서 뭐로뭐 뢰네베질로 잠버려서에 세제 최저과당 참모로 튼소모도 와서 바바는 예식은 것이니 당님 뭐라.
So now I better read through the text. The first line of 114, resorting to forbearance. He investigates injuries done on him by others, regards them as past deeds, and generates compassion, not being angry in return for returning any injury, dedicating and sowing of aspirations, in order that what he has done not go to waste, and to generate various sources of merit, the wholesome things he has done with body, speech, and mind, and those that he will do, he dedicates to best awakening, and to procure measureless good qualities, he sows the 10 aspirations explained in the 10 stages from time to time, or the resolve of benevolent conduct, offering to the three jewels. Also the offerings to the three jewels, both material things and offering of spiritual achievement, as well as the extensive offering without stint, recourse to vigilance. He is always constantly engaged with great diligence in wholesome directions of the six perfections. This wholesomeness, which means taking the path of accumulating resources, amounts to guarding oneself by practicing the physical and verbal basis of training while endowed with mental mindfulness and awareness. as well as guarding the gaze of the faculties of action in guarding one's thoughts from the generation of attachment and aversion and the pursuit of agreeable and disagreeable objects with one's faculties unrestrained, and to keep his body from falling into either of the two extremes, excessive satiety and excessive hunger, with a consequent incapacity for vigorous initiatives. He is aware of moderation in food, eaten
行
judiciously.
善法的时候，也是有它的一个次序的。
And of the
然后
two watches made of the night, he sleeps in the middle. In the former and the latter parts, as well as by day, he does recitation and practice, applying himself in the earlier and the later parts of the night to the yoga of wakefulness. And he attends to holy persons, companions, who initiate him into virtue and divert from vice, and takes recourse in spiritual advisors who do such things as impart the tradition to him. Confession, and he acts as his own advisor, investigating his own transgressions and making himself understand the future disadvantages of their results, then correcting them by resorting to the antidote and mistakes or transgressions that have developed. He announces to the Buddhas with their disciples, should he have the good fortune to encounter them, or in their absence to the Buddhas with their disciples before images of them, candidly confessing and doing so as well, before companions who practice the same doctrine.
第水米怎么样？什么之类？
The summary meaning, the ethics that procures, preserves, and increases wholesome factors such as these is known as the Bodhisattva's ethics of collecting wholesome deeds. Procures refers to fresh growth, for example, generating the three souls of wisdom. Preserves refers to not allowing what has grown to go to waste, for example, having recourse to forbearance, because unchecked annoyance will destroy the wholesomeness